What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Art of War. Today we have another exciting video for you as we are going to be discussing all of the Xenos Faction Packs, and there is a lot of them.
Yeah, 6 armies in this
8,
one?
I think.
8? Oh boy, that's a lot.
That is a lot. So we are going to be with you for the next little bit of time going through each of these, and first we're going to go through Games Workshop's main article where they talk about the different dispositions as well as the detachment points costs for each of the existing and new detachments. Then we're going to head into that specific faction, talk about their new 1DP detachments in full, now that we have the full picture, and then we're going to continue rotating on down through each faction until we get to the end. And at that point, if you do have any kind super chats for us, we will happily answer them. But this is going to be quite a bit of a video, so thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. I'm Richard Siegler, this is Jack Harpster, and this is going to be Xenos Day.
Xenos Day. So if you tuned in yesterday for Space Marine Day, you saw they did not provide forced dispositions for the different detachments. That has changed. They have forced dispositions for the detachments. Sounds
like they want to actually let you play.
Yes, because you couldn't play without them. So they put them in, put the forced dispositions in for all of the detachments your armies have access to, and they also went back and updated the Space Marine one with the forced dispositions as well. So go ahead and check that out after you watch this video, of course.
100%. And if you do want more content from us through our War Room subscription, we are posting faction videos for every army in the game as they come out. So yesterday we had videos in the War Room for every single Space Marine army, including Grey Knights. And then we also had, today, we're going to have all of those Xenos videos. So check out the War Room at thewarroom.vhx.tv for the 3-day free trial, or you can go ahead and click the join button here on YouTube, and the gold tier will get you access to every single faction video we're putting out. This week we're doing the adapting to, kind of talking about how the core rules and the dispositions, fit each of the armies. And then next week we'll be looking at the detachments themselves as well as the data sheets, kind of taking a fresh look at existing rules and seeing how they fit into the new edition.
And providing lists for the new armies.
Oh yeah. That's the part people are going to be really excited about. So thank you so much for joining us. If you are here, please give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and tell your friends about us. All of that massively helps us grow. In addition, leave a comment below letting us know which of the Xenos factions you're most excited to see and which detachments you're most excited to play. But otherwise,
absolutely.
Let's dive in here, starting off with the Orks, with the Wah!
Wah! So if we look at the detachments, so for all of these, all of the new detachments are going to be 1DP. And there's going to be 3 of them for every faction except Aeldari, which gets 4. So if we're looking at Orks, everything in here is a 2DP with the exception, I believe, of Warhorde down at the bottom under W. Yeah, it's probably the most well-rounded tool set for Orks as long as you really like melee. If you don't like shooting, Warhorde's very well-rounded for that. But Bully Boys, something like Dread Mob, Green Tide, I could really see some of those wanting a 1DP detachment. So let's get in and see what those detachments do.
Let's head in and start off here.
So first off, we have Rollin' Death, which is has the wagons tag and can't be taken with another wagons.
Don't be taking other wagons with them, Jack.
No wagons, all right? They want you to commit, okay? You're taking Rollin' Death and that's it. Friendly Battle Wagon, Hunter Rig, and Kill Rig units have wagon, and friendly wagon units can reroll charge rolls. When a friendly wagon unit is selected to make an advance move, that unit can change advance rolls to a 6. It's pretty solid.
That's fast.
Yeah,
that's pretty fast.
You reroll charge rolls, and then you advance flat 6 and you reroll charge rolls for battle wagons, hunter rigs, and kill rigs. Interesting.
It's what I've been missing.
All right, enhancements. We've got 2 upgrades. One is boarding ramps for a wagon. When a unit embarked within this unit is selected to make a disembark move, that unit has +1 to charge rolls until the end of the turn. If you have not seen upgrades before, they are enhancements you can give to units. You can take up to 3 of them, I believe, and you pay points for them the same. You just give them to a unit. You can take up to 3 copies of that upgrade. So here you give it to a wagon unit, and that means that when a unit inside gets out, they're +1 to charge. Or you can take targeted gizmos, which is also an upgrade. For a wagon, when a big mech model is embarked within this unit's ranged attacks have ignores cover. And if the Wah is active for this unit's ranged attacks have sustained hits 1. Now, something to note here, battle wagons, hunter rigs, and kill rigs don't don't shoot that hard. They shoot like okay, if I'm being nice. But they'll shoot a little bit better with sustained hits and ignores cover. So
Ignores cover helps a lot, especially for orcs
it
with
does.
their ballistic skill.
Yeah, they would shoot not at all if they did not have ignores cover. That's kind of how it works. All right. We have 3 stratagems here. We got Brutal Broadside in your shooting phase. When a friendly battle wagon unit is selected to shoot, your unit's ranged attacks, other than attacks made with firing deck, have rapid fire X, where X is that attack's characteristic. So essentially, they all double their shots in half range. Now that sounds really good. Wow, they have so many big shooters on their hull. Those things fire 5 shots apiece. They don't. They fire 3 with rapid fire 2. And so what that means is you're just 3 rapid fire 3, I guess. Or you fire the cannon, which is like D6 shots, rapid fire D6. Okay, not bad. I mean, still it's on 5s. But it's a little odd that it only gives you 1 extra big shoot a shot apiece. Who knows? Impending Crunch, your charge phase when a friendly wagon unit ends a charge move. Each enemy unit engaged with your unit makes a battle shock roll with -1 to that roll. Battle shocks are very solid. So
much improved.
Much improved. Because you can battle shock them, and then they have to take, if they fail it, they take another battle shock check in their command phase, so it might stick with them, which is cool. Or you can deny like an Armor of Contempt, or an Interrupt is a big one. Those 2 are pretty large.
A heroic?
A heroic, no, because it's only the unit you're engaged with.
Oh, it's only engaged.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So it situationally be quite solid for turning off key stratagems on an enemy unit, or just attempting to battle shock them so they don't get to hold an objective. That can also work. Devastating Drift for 1 CP. Your fight phase when a friendly wagon unit that makes a charge move this turn is selected to fight. Your unit's melee attacks have Cleave 1, which is a new keyword in 11th edition.
Yep.
It is Melee Blast. And I forget how many weapons wagons have come equipped with. I think it's like 2 or 3. It's like they have like a Wrecking Ball and Death Rolla and then like Grabbing Claws or something. And then each of those would get 1 extra attack per 5 models in the target unit, which is pretty solid. Something to note here, this detachment is fairly mediocre. Welcome to 1DP detachments, baby. That's what they're all like. If you have a detachment that does anything at all, it is a good 1DP detachment.
Yeah, this one is very niche in terms of what you're buffing, and it's unlikely that you're going to have a lot of these. You know, you used to in older editions see a lot of these units, like 3 killer rigs or kill rigs, but I don't know if you're going to be seeing too much of that.
I mean, you could run like multiple hunter rigs, multiple kill rigs, and really get up board fast, right?
That's a lot of beef. I mean, if people run less anti-tank, you can just deploy in the line with that and be like, cool. I don't care that you're hidden over there. It doesn't matter.
It's been a hot second since I saw like Hunter Rig's price point, but I remember it being very cheap, like in the low 100s, right? Like in the like 145-ish range.
It might even be cheaper than that.
It might be cheaper than that. I forget, because obviously I haven't looked at a Hunter Rig in a while, but they are cheap as hell. And so if you want to take just a bunch of beef and run them at people, that's like a pretty good 125, excuse me? It's preposterous.
Let's see what else Orks get.
All right, more DACA. Friendly Orks infantry units ranged attacks. Oh, it's 135. Got it. Friendly Orks infantry units ranged attacks have Assault. In your shooting phase, if the law is active for your army, friendly Orks infantry units ranged attacks have sustained hits 1.
So
okay.
More DACA used to be a 3 DP detachment, and here it's returned as 1 DP.
Yes. So we got to see what this looks like, right, in full. Again, don't compare 1 DP detachments to 3 DP detachments. Mm-hmm. That's not fair, and you're not going to feel good about your 1 DP detachments. But this is a very, very good package for 1 DP already, right? Because you get Assault on all of your ranged attacks. So if you wanted, for infantry, so if you wanted to combine that with like Dread Mob or something, all your infantry suddenly goes a lot faster and shoots a lot harder, which is cool. And then on the Law turn, you get Sustained 1, which is very good for Orks, because they tend to pump out a lot of bullets at crap ballistic skill.
Tank busters, looters, those type of
That
guys.
sort of thing, yeah. Enhancements, we got an upgrade and a regular enhancement. The upgrade is Dead Shiny Shooters. Orks infantry unit only. This unit's ranged attacks have rapid fire 1, or if that attack already has rapid fire, +1 to the value of that rapid fire. So rapid fire 1 would become rapid fire 2.
They love these rapid fire shots.
They do. I mean, I will say it's quite a bit. That's a lot.
Helps tank busters.
Yeah, you put on tank busters, they become D3 +1 shot each. You put this on Ludas, they go to rapid fire 2, I believe, which is quite a few shots. It depends how much the cost is on this, but that's a very good That's a very good upgrade to a unit. You can take it up to 3 times and just get a ton of firepower going downfield. The Gobshot Thunderbus. Orcs infantry model only. This model's ranged attacks have devastating wounds and hazardous. Hazardous is less of a downside than it was before. You'll only ever take 1 mortal wound unless you're a monster or vehicle. And so you're not going to just like end up spiking yourself in 2 or 3 shooting activations. And then you get dev wounds, which is fine, good even. You put this on a big mech with shock attack gun. It's obviously like that's your best shooting profile. You put it in a unit, you get full rerolls to hit, you get sustained hits on the wall.
Orcs gonna be shooting.
ABS, dude, always be shooting. But yeah, Dead Shiny Shooters also buffs it looks like it buffs the character as well for rapid fire, so that is pretty gnarly. Mm-hmm. Long uncontrolled bursts, 1 CP in your shooting phase when a friendly Orcs infantry unit is selected to shoot. That Orcs infantry unit ranged attacks have ignores cover.
Incredibly important nowadays.
Yes, very, very important. I don't believe Orcs have a way to get around cover. Like, I don't think they can like shoot you with a unit to strip cover and then shoot. If they do, it's a unit I haven't seen in a long, long time. So having access to ignores cover is massive. It's essentially +1 to hit. Mm-hmm. And then we have Special Shells, 1 CP. In your shooting phase, when a friendly Orcs infantry unit is selected to shoot, your unit's ranged attacks that target unit within 9 have +1 AP. It's very good. Ludas, when they do shoot up close, go to AP2. Or tank busters go to AP3.
Flash kits?
Flash kits go to AP2.
This is a good detachment.
Yeah, this is one of the best 1 DP detachments I've seen so far, right? And then Call Dat Daka. Your opponent's shooting phase, when an enemy unit that targeted a friendly Orcs infantry unit has shot, your unit shoots using snap shooting, but while doing so can only target that enemy unit. So you shoot back at a unit that shot you. Orcs aren't particularly tough. You probably don't have most of your unit left. And you snap shoot when you shoot back. And you only get sustained hits in your shooting phase. So this is kind of mid. But I will say, the other stuff is gas. Right, we reviewed Grey Knights detachments and all the Space Marine detachments yesterday. This would be in like the top 3, I would say, of like all of the detachments I've looked at so far.
Yeah, and like you were saying before, like a dread mob or something, you put this with that. All right, there's a lot of high power shooting units going out.
Exactly.
And obviously Minds of Ballistical sucks, but you do have ignores cover access here and just a lot of shots.
Yep, and you don't need this to buff an entire army. You don't. In a 1 DP detachment, you buff like 2-3 units. You're happy with that, I think. And so if you just want to take this, take Dead Shiny Shooters, buff 3 units of tank busters or whatever to the gills, right? Or 3 units of Ludas with 3 shock attack guns, and that is it. That's enough, man. That really is enough. And you just give them assault, you give them sustained hits when they're in the WA, and then you get the rapid fire, you get the ignores cover, you get the +1 AP, all of that. You don't need it to apply to an entire army. It can, but you don't need it to.
Yeah, this is a winner. And then I believe Tactical Brigade, the other 3DP detachment from Grotmis, got transitioned to a 1DP as well here.
It did. And this one's all about scoring, is what it looks like. So if you like making that score go real high, if you like big number on your score sheet, this one is for you. So the detachment was Listen Ear. Friendly Storm Boy units have Battle Line, and when a friendly Boys, Commandos, and Storm Boys unit is selected to make an advance or fallback move, that move does not prevent that unit from being eligible to start an action. You have 2 enhancements. We got Mork's Cunning. Orc model only when both players have deployed their armies. You can redeploy up to 3 friendly Orcs infantry units, and you can set them up in strategic reserves. Mm-hmm. Or you give a War Boss, excluding Mega Armor models, Infiltrator and Stealth. So... can't lead commandos, I don't believe, because I don't believe it's on their data sheet unless they change that. But still can just go by himself up the board. Stratagems, we got Tactical Retreat. Your movement phase when a friendly commandos or Stormboys unit is selected to make a fallback move, they can still declare a charge. On to the next 1 CP, end of your opponent's movement phase. One friendly unengaged boys, commandos, or storm boys unit that was engaged can make a normal move up to 6. So if you were engaged with them and at the end of their movement phase you are no longer engaged with them, you make a normal move up to 6. That's very powerful. Most reactive moves off this, like there's one that we saw in Space Marines that was when you fall back from Sanguinary Guard, immediately make a D3+3 reactive move. That is both less far and also you don't get to see all of their movement first, right? With this, you get to see, oh, they move this here, they move this here, I'm going to dodge their line of sight. Obviously, boys, commanders, storm boys, not Sanguinary Guard. So keeping them alive has less of a payoff, but you will just keep them alive, run around, and do more actions, basically. Dead Sneaky, 1 CP into your opponent's fight phase. You pick a unit commandos or storm boys and put it in strat reserves. What this does is you just get the points. You just get the points. That's what you do.
That late game behind or outflank or something like that. Just secure it up.
You get the good bits. There are good bits over there. You can advance. You can fall back and get them. You can go back into reserves to deep strike in your opponent's backfield and get the good bits back there if you need to. You can keep your units alive to get more good bits. There's so many bits, and they're all good.
Yeah, this feels like if you are going to run the infantry shooting units, you're going for more DACA. If you're not and just focused on what your list is already doing with your 2DP detachment, then you're going to try and grab this and just make your scoring pieces a little bit better.
Yeah, and again, you don't need this to buff like an entire army. It won't. But if you had like a unit of commandos that split in like 3 Stormboy units, suddenly your scoring package is on point. And if you want to lean heavier into it, then you can, right? I assume this is Recon or Disruption, one of the two.
Yeah.
And then you just score 1 billion points off of doing 1 billion actions.
That's an underutilized thing is some of these 1DPs, you might actually not care about a single rule that they give you, but you care about the disposition you can access. So that will be a big factor.
That can also happen. This is an unfortunate way that it could work out, but yes.
But overall, I think these last two are quite solid. And then wagons, there's probably going to be some people who spam wagons, but probably not the main way you see Orks played.
Yes.
All right. Well, before we head on into our next faction here, we are going to send you off for a little ad about the War Room, just in case you're thinking about joining our awesome War Room service.
Everything starts with an idea. Ideas become actions.
Hey man, you want to go to a Warhammer tournament? I hear they're a lot of fun.
I don't know, man. Like, I'm really new. What if I suck? What if they're mean to me? I've heard a lot of bad things going to tournaments as a new player.
And sometimes we need a little help to take those actions.
You know, I used to have those same fears until I joined Art of War.
Art of War? Huh.
Enjoy your hobby more. Join Art of War.
All right, so now we are going to go ahead and head on into the Aeldari, the nefarious elves.
Yes, this is an army that I do play. I don't play Orks anymore since Michael got here.
This is an army you claim is very good. And
why are you setting me up like this? What's going on
and
here?
people have been offended by that, Jack.
I think it's a solid army. I don't think it's in like the top half. I don't think it's like the top echelon of the meta, but I think it's quite solid if you know what you're doing with it. That being said, let's take a look where it's at right now. So 3DP detachments. We've got Warhost and we've got Aspect Host. Now, Warhost being 3DP boggles the mind. That detachment is buns. It is like the 6th best way to play Eldar right now. Don't understand why it's 3DP. But I'm going to be honest with you. If Warhost had to eat a bullet so that another one of the other ones isn't 3DP, I'm kind of okay with that.
Boom.
Yeah, like just
stay down there.
Just stay down, man. Just
take that attention away.
Yeah, no, Seer Council is 2. It's fine. You know? So I think the power of Eldar with this is that they have a lot of detachments here that are playable and that are 2DP. So you have Guardian Battle Host, you have Seer Council, you have Wind Rider Host, you have Corsair Coterie. Those are the ones that like jump out to me as like there's something there. There are other options as well. I don't really play Harlequins that much, but Serpent's Brood is quite solid. It is just a solid army. Spirit Conclave, potentially with Hidden, could really abuse that. Not really the army fantasy that I'm going for, but some people do. It probably needs some points drops, but is where it is. There's a lot of options here, I think, to combine with a 1DP detachment. Aspect Host is 3. Somebody's going to be 3. The Aspect Host is probably the best standalone one.
Yep.
That is what it is. Bit weird. It's disruption. I don't understand that at all. That really hurts it. Aspect Host does not want to be disruption. It wants to be like I think Eldar. Eldar either want to be mega actions or priority assets, which is like actions with a side of holding objectives and killing people. But anyway, so I think we have a lot of 2DP detachments that are viable enough to get your foot in the door. And so the 1DPs are going to be very interesting here. So let's take a look at those. So we got Armored Warhost, which replaces Armored Warhost. And Armored Warhost was terrible because it was essentially as powerful as this detachment, but 3DP instead of 1, basically. It buffed an army that didn't exist, which was an army of tank guns. There's only the Fire Prism, basically.
Night Spinner.
You could do that, I guess, if you wanted to. I mean, like Starfangs and Vipers and stuff and Warwalkers, but you know, as a 1DP, I could see it, right? You add it in, you add a little bit of extra zhuzh to a viable 2DP detachment. I could see that. So Armored Warhost has friendly Aeldari vehicle units ranged attacks have Assault, which is solid. You can already give Assault to them with a token as long as they fly. Not all of them fly. Warwalkers, for example, don't. But you can give it +2 move and then Assault, right? You can give Fire Prism, make a move 16 and then Assault and go really, really far and shoot. But I think the main thing here is you just save on tokens. You just save like 1 to 2 tokens if you want to get your vehicles running around and shooting, which is legitimately worth it, right? Because it essentially buffs the rest of your army. Spirit Stone of Rayleigh. Aeldari Psyker model only. While this model is within 3 inches of a friendly Eldar vehicle unit, this model has lone op. In your movement phase, at the start or end of this unit's move, you pick 1 friendly Eldari vehicle model within 3 inches and it heals D3 wounds. They really, really want to turn your Psykers into Tech Marines. That's the other enhancement too. In your shooting phase, you pick a visible friendly Eldari vehicle unit within 6 inches and their range attacks at +1 to hit. They really, really want to turn you into Tech Marines. The problem is, let's take a look at our vehicles for a second. Warwalkers, Bright Lances, 2 shots. Fire Prism, Prism Cannon, 2 shots. I guess the spread profile is better with the cover. Like, if you can get the spread profile hitting on 3s, then the AP2 punches through cover much better. But still, I guess you could buff a Starfang with this. You could buff a pair of Vipers. It's fine. It's not very good. I'm going to be honest. Eldari Psykers, you don't really want to take a lot of them outside of like Seer Council. So I'm not really going to be paying for this. Layered Wards. Any phase, when a friendly Eldari vehicle unit suffers a mortal wound, you get a 5-up feel no pain against it. All right. Soul Sight. In your shooting phase, when a friendly Eldari vehicle unit is selected to shoot, your unit's attacks can reroll a hit, a wound, and a damage. So that sounds not that great because you have to spend this before you've rolled your hits and before you've rolled your wounds and everything. But, you know, if you hit with everything and wound with everything, you're probably fine with it. Yeah. You can put this on something like a big unit of Vipers. You can put this on, that's kind of it. I don't really want to spend it on like 2 shots, but I could see spending on like 4 because then you essentially will always get a real hit, always get a real wound and damage. So I could see that really working out for like a pair of Vipers or something. Vectored Engines, 1 CP. When a friendly Eldari vehicle unit makes a fallback move, that move does not prevent your unit from being eligible to shoot. That is quite solid. Like, legitimately, that is quite solid. I like being able to push my Fire Prisms when necessary because they are just a big hull with OC3 that is, like, annoying to kill, right? T3 Eldar bodies, dead. But sometimes you can put a Fire Prism in a spot where your opponent's like, I don't really have assets in the area that are going to kill a tank. I wasn't expecting that to happen. But it's nice to be able to push that forward when you need to. The downside is it gets tagged and its blast gun doesn't shoot into combat, so it gets stuck. But if you can fall back and shoot, it makes it a lot more palatable. Yeah, it happens, right? Especially with the
2-inch engage range. It's so easy to tag things.
2-inch engage range, it's so much easier to tag things. And also, it's so much easier to get closer to your opponent. That it's not actually that hard to tie those things up. Now you can fall back and shoot. All right. We've got Fateful Performance. This is unique acrobatic. So it does seem like acrobatic's going to be... why didn't they just say Harlequins? I don't...
I don't know. We can't use the official names. I don't know.
I guess. While a friendly Harlequins unit is making a charge move, that unit can move through enemy models. Now, something to note here is this does not let you take extra Troop Masters or Shadow Seers or anything. Doesn't make troops battle line, so have fun with that. Foot in the Future as an enhancement. Troop Master can reroll charge rolls, and then Mist Weave for Shadow Seers. The unit has infiltrators. Solid abilities. Mm-hmm. Heroes Fall 1 CP. Fight phase when an enemy unit targets a friendly Harlequins unit. When you are destroyed on a 4-up, you fight. Specifically, it says do not remove that model from the battlefield when your unit has fought or at the end of the phase they're removed. So you actually leave the models where they are, and then they just fight with the rest of the unit. 1 CP, exit the stage. End of your opponent's fight phase. A Harlequins unit goes back into reserves. And 1 CP, Deceptive Feint. Your opponent's movement phase, when an enemy unit ends a move within 8 inches of an unengaged Harlequins infantry unit, you get to make a D3+3 reactive. That's the good one right there, nice. If you were wondering.
And you can get into a transport, I assume, with this.
It does appear so. So nice. That's pretty solid. Now, this is definitely buffing like 3 units in your army, because that's kind of it. You can take Skyweavers, Starweavers, troops. You only take 3 of each, and you can take like 1 Troop Master. And that's kind of that's your cap.
This feels like Aeldari's version of Reaper's Wager, where you're going to take an Aeldari 2 DP, and then you're going to take this to grab some amount of Harlequins that can do things.
Yes. Yeah. There's a second Harlequin detachment. I believe that one is stronger, but we'll cover that one in a second. We got Path of the Outcast. This one's interesting. I believe this one is Recon, and so is Armored Warhost, I believe. I glanced over them.
Path of the Outcast is Recon, and Armored Warhost is Recon.
I hope you like doing actions, and if you want to do actions, Path of the Outcast is here for you. So when a friendly Ranger's Shroud Runner's unit is selected to shoot, enemy units have +6 detection range until that friendly unit has shot, so they will shoot you from 6 inches further. That's not worth it in and of itself, because Rangers and Shroud Runners can hit hard if you have the right combos, but Rangers generally don't. Although Precision is very good, because you will force characters to take the saves, force the characters to take all the 1s, 2s, and 3s first, and then put the rest on the unit. Mm-hmm. So there's something to be said there, but we need something to combo with it. Speaking of which, Camouflage Snipers and Assassin's Eye. These are both upgrades. The first one is for Rangers, and this unit's ranged attacks do not prevent this unit from being hidden. This is not that great on a 5-man squad. And not 100% sold that a 10-man squad is a good idea. I think it's like 55 for 5 Rangers, so it's like 110 for 10. You can have them be hidden, shoot at 21, trying to snipe enemy characters out. You can do that. Mm-hmm. I think you want your Rangers just doing actions. I'm going to be honest with you. I think you want them running around doing actions. However, Assassin's Eye is Rangers and Shroud Runners. This unit's ranged attacks a targeted character have +1 AP. And you know where my brain went with that? Corsair Coterie. You can put this on a 6 brick of Shroud Runners, and they +1 AP into character units. And then you can spend a CP to give all of their ranged attacks +1 AP, ignores cover, and rapid fire.
That's a lot.
And they have a sniper and a scatter laser. So that does quite a bit of damage, because the sniper goes to AP3, the scatter laser goes to AP2, they get ignores cover, they go to 9 shots a model. It's quite scary. So that's the combo that appeals to me. As it is, just like Shroud Runners do really appreciate having +1 AP. Eldritch Suppression for a CP or shooting phase. When a friendly Ranger Shroud Runners unit has shot, you pick an enemy unit hit by those ranged attacks, and that enemy unit makes a battle shock. And then with -1 to that roll, if a model in the unit was destroyed. That can be pretty solid. This isn't in the charge phase, which is good, because you now know in your shooting phase who's battle shocked, so you can plan your charge phase around that. Mm-hmm. So you can know they're battle shocked, I'm going to charge here and here. Now, we don't have a ton of melee units in Eldar, but maybe you take 2 Howling Banshee units, I don't know. Without fight first. All right, Casting Back the Veil, 1 CP. Your shooting phase, when a friendly Ranger Shroud Runners unit has shot, select 1 enemy unit hit by those range attacks. That enemy unit has +6 detection range. That's quite good. +6, you shoot at something, you're at +6, then you give that +6 to the rest of the army when you shoot them.
Very good.
Yep. That kind of spotter effect really, really helps, because 21 inches is basically how far shooting lanes can exist on those boards. And so if you say, hey, at any point, I could get within 21 of you and shoot you, your opponent has to base their game plan around what you could do, not what you are doing. So they have to move in positions where you can't get within 21 of them, which cuts them off from a lot of the board. Really helps corral them. Nomads of the Hidden Way. In your shooting phase, when a friendly Ranger Shroud Runners unit has shot, your unit can make a normal move up to D6, and your unit is not eligible to declare a charge or embark within a transport. So this is powerful, because you can take a big 6 brick of Shroud Runners, and you, if you want two bricks of Shroud Runners, you can do that. You take one with the stratagem from Corsair Coterie, and the other one all toes into terrain, shoots, and then hops back off the terrain. And that will scoop any cheap little unit on your opponent's side, guaranteed, especially if it happens to have a random character in there.
Classic Eldar.
Yep. Boop. Boop. And that's you hopping out, shooting, and hopping back. So that's quite good. Basically, this is Rangers and Shroud Runners day here in this detachment. It gives you access to recon, and then you want to take a bunch of Rangers to do those recon actions. And then it gives you some pretty good Shroud Runners. And that's it. That's what it does. And Shroud Runners strip cover. So that is also quite nice.
Yeah, which is a very handy rule nowadays.
Yes, for sure. All right, we have one more. They have 4. This is the only one so far that has 4. This is also a Harlequin's detachment. My headcanon for this is that some people at GW just had a dispute about whose Harlequin detachment was cooler. And so like, fine, we'll just do both of them.
Do both.
Again, this is the acrobatic tag, which means I assume you probably won't at some point in the future be able to take this with Serpent's Brood, but we'll see. All right, friendly Harlequins units have stealth, which, if you don't know, Sky Weavers have -1 to hit baked into their profile. So if you have stealth, that means you're always -2 to hit on Sky Weavers, which people loved back in the past, and they will love now.
-1 ballistia with -1 hit is a very strong thing.
Very strong ability. All right, Shadowfall Masks is an upgrade for troops. This unit has fights first, a lot less powerful than it was in the past. I suppose you could take this on like 3 units, and now it gets a little annoying, but you would just interrupt. Like if it was important, I'm not going to pay points ahead of time for it. Prelude Performer, Harlequin's model only. This unit has Scout 6. That is pretty good. Now it's an enhancement, so but it's pretty good on like a Troop Master or something. Get up board fast. Mm-hmm. Presaged Rehearsal, fight phase when a friendly troop unit selected to fight gets Lance. They already have access to +1 to wound, so on their data sheet, so they would get access to reroll 1s to hit and then pick Lance at that point. And if they get access to both of those buffs, they do hit quite reliably at that point. Captivating Performance and your movement phase. One friendly troop unit. Select one objective your unit is controlling. That objective is secured. Good.
Yeah, sticky objectives.
Yep, sticky objectives. And then Phantasmal Mirage. In your shooting phase, when a friendly Harlequin's vehicle unit has shot, your unit can make a normal move up to D6 inches. Not eligible to declare a charge. It's a little bit better on stuff like Shroud Runners, where it's an entire unit of like 6 guys can tow in, shoot, and then hop back. It's a little less good when you can shoot a Star Weaver with 2 shuriken cannons who then hops off the terrain. A little less good there. The Lance and Stealth seem quite good. Securing objectives seems quite solid. Again, you don't get much out of a 1DP detachment. None of these have been like crazy. All of them have been pretty mid.
Twilight Flickers?
This is Twilight Flickers.
Take and hold is what you get access to.
Take and hold. Not really what Eldar want to be doing. They want to be taking your objectives and then not holding them. But that's fine. The one thing you could do with this is you could, just ripping this off the top, you could combine this with Eldritch Raiders for advance in charge. And then you take like 3 units of Skyweavers who are -2 to hit in this, have advance in charge. And you take like 3 units of troops with a Troop Master. They get access to Lance, sticky objectives. Pile and consolidate 6, get back in the transports. I don't know. Seems interesting, right?
It's worth trying out. I mean, this is what this is designed to do, is to take some detachments that are now 2DP that you can combo with new rules to try and make them as competitive as the former power ones like Aspect Host.
Exactly. And War Host somehow. That one kind of came out of left field.
Seems like the Recon one is probably going to be the winner just because that's a style Eldar quite like.
Yeah, I mean, the Path of the Outcast seems like the most natural fit. A lot of Eldar lists have like 2 units of Rangers in them. If you take Path of the Outcast, you upgrade that to like 2 units of Rangers, 2 units of Shroud Runners, which is kind of what I was already running. And then that's probably enough. Although I will say, if you take like 2 to 3 Fire Prisms, Armored Warhost isn't bad, right? Yeah. It also gives you Recon, which is quite solid. And it gives you a passive benefit you don't really have to spend anything on, which is nice, right? I don't have to spend a CP to do X. I don't have to spend a CP to do Y. I can fall back and shoot for CP, but it's which passive benefit do you want? Do you want it to be to your tanks? And also getting it on your Warwalkers and any Vipers you might have, because they suppress now. We have to see how powerful that is in the new edition. Any, there's so many names.
Starfangs?
Starfangs, thank you. Any Starfangs you take, anything like that, they get a passive benefit, although their guns already have Assault. So it's interesting what kind of passive benefits you want. The Harlequin ones seem a little bit more of a build around. So that's something we'll have to take a look at.
Awesome. Well, let's head on to our next one, which is going to be the Evil Elves, the Drukhari. And so their detachments, they only have one 3DP option, which is going to be the Reaper's Wager. No surprise, that is the basically number one detachment. Spectacle of Spite for a while.
It's a little bit of a surprise on Spectacle, yeah.
Spectacle of Spite is 2 DP here, and part of that seems to be because in the FAQ section at the bottom of their faction pack is a change to, what was the stratagem called? I'm forgetting.
Challenge Met.
Challenge Met. Instead of it being, oh, your opponent moved at the end of their movement phase, they're close to me, I'm going to charge them. Instead, now it's if somebody ended a fallback move within range. So it's quite a bit worse than it was before.
Yes.
And so with that change, I guess they decided it was going to be better to make it a 2 DP. Also, it only buffs the Witch Cult units as well, whereas Reaper Wagers buffs the army.
Spectacle should be a 2 DP because it only buffs a third of the army, whereas, you know, Reaper's Wager buffs the whole thing, theoretically.
Yep.
And so they just needed to hit that strat to bring it down in line to where you could combine it with more rules and make it okay-ish. It's still very powerful, to be clear.
Yep.
But yeah, Challenge Met going from anything but a fallback move to only fallback moves definitely is a complete change on how that strat works.
I think 2 of the big winners here are the detachments that were kind of hovering a bit below that, which is Sky Splinter Assault, which gains a huge benefit in that it gives you easy access to Ignor's cover, which Drukhari weapons definitely appreciate, as well as I believe it's Lance out of the transports. And then the Kabalite Cartel, which is a very damage-heavy detachment, is also 2 DP. So let's see what they can combo with as we dive in here.
Also, if you like Spectacle of Spite, be very happy they nerfed it and made it 2 DP, because Spectacle of Spite is Purge the Foe. And if you are Purge the Foe as a Drukhari army, you're screwed. So you have to include a 1 DP detachment to make that not the case.
You may purge a lot of foes, but they're going to purge you back.
They're going to purge you harder. That's the problem.
All right, so we've got the first one here. The Witch Cult is unique to Witch Cult, Exhibition of Slaughter. And this is going to have a detachment role called Exacting Cruelty. Friendly Witch Cult units and melee attacks have lethal hits against non-monster vehicle units. The detachment has the Witch Cult tag and can't be taken with other ones, so probably Spectacle of Spite is my guess. Enhancements, the Periapt of Torments is going to be on a Succubus model only. Enemy units cannot target this unit with snap shooting attacks. You have to run regular Succubus, so that's a downside, but snap shooting is still quite effective. This is the new Overwatch into Drukhari bodies, so a way to turn that off. Now, if a character could lead Hellions, that's
the big one.
That would be the one you would want to take, because at the end of the day, witches, you probably have Lilith leading witches still. You can't take it on her, so this might not end up getting used. And then Hyperstim Trafficker is Succubus model only. This unit has +1 toughness. I don't know if Games Workshop has checked out the toughness of witches, but +1 toughness is not going to make the difference, I don't think.
It's good into like strength 6, 7. I don't know.
I think they're going to kill.
So honestly, legitimately, the place where it's good is into strength 4.
Yeah.
Strength 4 will just rip you off the board wholesale. Now it at least has to win on 4s. Depends on the points cost for this, right?
Yeah. Planned Strikes is 1 CP. Fight phase, when a friendly Witch Cult unit is selected to fight that Witch Cult unit, your melee unit attacks have lethal hits. So your detach rule is giving you lethal hits against non-monster vehicle. This is how you would get it and help Hellions punch up into vehicles and monsters. Sculpting the Stage, 1 CP, your movement phase, when a friendly Witch Cult unit is selected to make an advance or fallback move, that Witch Cult unit, the move doesn't prevent your unit from being eligible to start an action, which is a pretty rare rule to be able to advance or fall back in action. And this is going to be useful to have access to if you're playing one of the action.
Especially on little cheap 5-man Witch Cult units just running around the board.
Yep.
Doing actions,
3-man
doing
Reaver
whatever.
Jetbikes.
Or 3-man Reavers. Yeah, man.
That's pretty
good. Do they flat advance if you spend a pain token?
Flat 8, I think.
Flat 8, so they go very far. 22.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yep. That's going to be very hard to stop them from just doing whatever actions they want.
Acrobatic Display. 1 CP, your opponent's shooting phase when an enemy unit targets a Witch Cult unit. Your unit gets a 5-up invuln. Now, that can help Hellions stay alive, but once again, if they're getting shot, most armies put out enough damage output where you will be probably losing quite a few models anyway. Yes. But, if you really where this comes up is that if the Hellions get to reactive moves so that they take some damage away from your opponent, and then it's like, oh, you only have this match, 5-up invul will make a couple models survive. And a couple Hellions is worth a lot.
I remember at Las Vegas teams, my teammate, Cody Giroux, was playing Spectacle of Spite, which has that stratagem in it, basically. And after, round 3, he's like, all right, if I ever spend that stratagem, I need you guys to slap me. Because apparently he keeps getting tempted into it, spending the strat, and then just, dying anyway, and being left with one model. It's like, okay, it's sure.
Cool, it saved one guy.
Yeah, it's like, if I ever do that again, just hit me.
Pretty niche, but could be impactful in a late game scenario. Then we have next up the Cabalite Agonists. This is going to be unique to Cabal, so Cabal detachments won't be able to ally with it. Friendly Blades for Hire / Cabal units or ranged attacks have sustained 1 against non-monster vehicles, and then their enhancements: Towering Arrogance, Archon model only. The unit has +1 leadership and OC. This unit has +1 leadership and OC. That's not bad. Just having a unit with high OC sitting on your expansion, not too bad. And then Contempt for Rivals. The Archon, his unit's attacks have precision. This would have been a rule we would laugh at in 10th edition. In 11th edition, precision is vastly better, as Jack was saying. You roll the dice and then you move the character group to the front, and then they take all these 1s and 2s. That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Having a whole unit gain precision is way more useful.
Yeah, because then you're not handing them 5 or 6 saves that'll just barely kill the character, and you don't really get a benefit out of it. Precision, it's Abaddon is taking every one you roll first.
Then we have Prioritized Victim is 1 CP. Your shooting phase or the fight phase when a friendly Blades for Hire or Cabal unit targets a character unit. Your unit's attacks that target a character unit gain reroll 1s to hit and reroll 1s to wound. So Blades for Hire is going to be things like Scourges as well as Incubi and stuff like that. So that's probably where you would end up seeing this used, is Drazar with an Incubi unit. Seems like a good option for this because a lot of the Cabalite units have rerolls from something. Yeah. Shadow's Reach 1 CP. Your shooting phase when a friendly Blades for Hire Cabal unit has shot. Those attacks do not prevent your unit from being hidden. It's not too bad. It's
a little bad. So the question is, Nick and I, this was the strat they revealed on stream, and Nick and I had a bit of problem finding out who actually wants to use this. And my suggestion would be a unit of Scourges with Shard Carbines to trigger the +1 AP, because the Scourges are going to hop back behind terrain, and then Warriors are going to hop back in transport. So who needs to stay hidden?
I think it's also the case where sometimes, especially if you run Haywire or one of the shorter range heavy weapons on Scourges, when you need to step up to get line of sight or to get within hidden range with Scourges, you can then fire and fade back into a closer ruin. You're not going to be behind a wall. You're just going to be on the terrain features, but now you're hidden, and maybe you move block that area. So there could be some tricky skill plays.
Yeah,
where that could
for sure.
And then Killers from the Dark Spires, 1 CP. Your shooting phase when a friendly Cabalite unit is selected to shoot. Your unit's range attacks have Ignores Cover. Ignores Cover being a great rule.
Yes, that is huge.
So overall, this detachment has quite a few solid rules all around, and definitely if you're running one of the mainline detachments that isn't Cabal, and you're bringing Drazar and Incubi or some of the units like that, you'd probably add this in. This has some good rules.
Yep.
And then finally, Covens. This is going to be interesting because the Coven detachment, you can't ally with it, which is totally fine because that is a bad detachment. So Tools of Torment. Attacks that target friendly Chronos or Talos units with a strength greater than toughness have -1 to wound rolls. That's quite good. I am a big believer in Talos. I love those units, and getting -1 to wound would be sweet on them. Then we have the Gnarl Skin Experimenter. Homunculus model only. Attacks that target this unit with a strength greater than toughness have -1 to wounds, so you could make a larger Rax unit a bit more durable. And then Elixir of the Corpse Quartz is an upgrade. Chronos or Talos unit, it gains a 5-up invul instead of its 6-up invul. So this kind of is bringing back to the older school Talos. If this is reasonably cheap, I would upgrade my Talos and then have them also have the -1 to wounds. That's pretty solid.
Yes, Chronos and Talos are, I mean, Chronos because they're cheap and they do the paint token thing, but Talos are actually one of the only Covens units that you actually kind of see in lists. Listen, I'm not going to say I'm not saying they're going to be broken or anything. I'm not saying that. Trust me. But this is like a scary set of rules for them, right? You just make Talos a lot tougher. Their toughness 7?
T7, 7 wounds.
T7 -1 to wound is really annoying. Then they have a 5-up invul and 5-up feel no pain.
5-up, it's a 5-up, baby. I'm back.
Yeah, I do love
back,
getting
baby.
scammed like crazy, dude. All right, so that's a very scary set of rules to give them. Honestly, don't think they're going to be broken, but I do think they're going to be quite good with it.
That's before we even looked at these strats here. So we got Salting the Wound. That's a great name. 1 CP, fight phase when a friendly Chronos or Talos unit is selected to fight. Your unit's attacks that target a battle-shocked unit have devastating wounds. Dev wounds, especially because you're going to be twin-linked on the double macro scalpel. That's pretty darn solid. Now, obviously, they have to be battle shocked, so it's niche in that effect, but there will be more battle shocked units, especially later in the game, so this might come up. And then Dividends of Agony, 1 CP. Fight phase when a friendly Homunculus Covens unit destroys an enemy unit. Select one visible enemy unit within 12. That enemy unit takes a battle shock at -1. Also, once again, more impactful. It could be the only thing they had to survive on an objective, and you're like, I don't want you having primary anymore, or I want you to take another battle shock. So interesting strat there. And then Urgent Metamorphosis. Your movement phase when a friendly Homunculus Covens unit is selected to make a fallback move. That move does not prevent your unit from being eligible to declare a charge. Also, very good to have access to. I quite like this rule set. I think the stratagems are all like okay or situational. But frankly, when you're looking at a 1 DP, there's so many good core stratagems, and then you're going to have your mainline 2 DP detachment. So you're going to have 6 stratagems in there. You have a lot of stratagems to spend. I want 1 DP detachments that have a really good detachment rule and or enhancement upgrades, because then I don't have to spend command points to activate them. I don't want a detachment that's mostly based on using stratagems, because you can only use so many, since you're not incentivized to discard secondary cards as much anymore. This I quite like, because there's a very good detachment rule. Yep,
a good detachment rule, good upgrades. And then you really, realistically, Salting the Wound, Dividends of Agony, you're not going to use most of the time.
Probably not.
But the detachment is still very powerful, and you have fallback and charge. And fallback and charge is a big deal, because your opponent is going to say, oh, can you fall back and do anything? And if you say no, they're going to tag you with like a rhino, and you're stuck there, right? And your good unit of 2 Talos can't contribute to the action. But if you say, yes, I can, they just won't engage you, and you don't have to spend this. Or you get free punches, and you get a CP out of it, and you just like fall back and do stuff.
Yeah.
Quite good.
So I'm excited for these. I'm very excited to play Drukhari coming up in the coming weeks. So let's go ahead and move on into our next one, which I believe is Tyranids.
Tyranids. All right. So Tyranids have 3 very interesting ones. We got one based around, it's called Ambush Predators. It's based around Lictors. It's based around, Von Ryan's Leapers, that sort of thing. You got Towns of the Norn Queen, if you like the Norn Hub detachment. And then we got Warrior Bioform Onslaught, if you like the Warriors. Now, as far as 3 DPs go, they are on Invasion Fleet and Subterranean Assault, which is pretty reasonable. Those were like the good ones. But some stealthy ones that were like solid, but maybe needed a little bit more to compete would be something like Vanguard Onslaught for sure,
Great
possibly
strats.
Synaptic Nexus. That one. I've seen people mess around with Assimilation Swarm, not to any success. Crusher Stampede, I've seen people play, especially at team events. And then, Unending Swarm, obviously, if you're sick like that, then you might enjoy Unending Swarm. I don't know.
Just nothing but gods, baby.
So there's some decent 2 DP options to combine with the new detachments. Let's go over what we got. All right, Ambush Predators, friendly Death Leapers, Lictors, and Neurolictor units have Deep Strike. And friendly Lictors and Neurolictors units that target a character unit can reroll hit rolls of 1, so you're a little more reliable there. Now, note, Fight First on the Lictors is a lot less powerful than it was before, so they're a lot less immune in midfield to melee units, right? JPI can actually go kill them, Jump Pack Intercessors. 2 upgrades, Encircling Horrors and Crypto-Photaic Camouflage. Encircling Horrors goes on Neurolictor, Lictor, or Von Ryan's Leapers, and in your opponent's movement phase, when they end a move with an 8, you can normal move D3 plus 3, which is pretty good. React moves are just phenomenal. Crypto-Photaic Camouflage on Von Ryan's Leapers only. This unit has -3 detection range, which is also phenomenal, right? Because you can go 15-inch hidden. This enhancement, 12-inch hidden. Go underground, 9-inch hidden. Suddenly that's really annoying to deal with. And then you have, your Lictors, your Neurolictors have a reactive move on top of their lone op. On top of, if you're playing Vanguard Onslaught, could potentially be a 6-inch lone op, which is pretty good.
That's a lot of shenanigans.
That's a lot of shenanigans. We got Counter Predation in the fight phase when a friendly Death Leaper, Lictor, Neurolictor, or Von Ryan's Leaper is selected to fight. If you target a hidden unit, you get +1 strength and AP, which is pretty solid. Hypersensory Adaptations, 1 CP, start of your shooting phase. One of those units selects a visible enemy unit within 12, and that enemy unit has +6 detection range. So your guns really, really like this. And then Scannergeist, end of your opponent's fight phase, one friendly unengaged Death Leaper, Lictor, or Neurolictor, not Leapers, gets to go back into strat reserves. So the strats are good, but situational. They're quite good, though. Again, I think the detachment rule and the enhancements are really what you're taking this for.
Really
and
solid.
You just end up with an incredible skirmishing package between Von Ryan Leapers that are either -3 detection range or get to reactive move. And then like Lictors and Neurolictors that deep strike, real hits of 1, that sort of thing. And you combine that probably with Vanguard Onslaught.
Yeah. Get your skirmish bugs. They are very good.
Yes. They seem quite good in this. All right. And then +1 strength and AP also on some Leapers running in, cutting people up. Seems good. All right. Talons of the Norn Queen. Friendly Norn Emissary and Norn Assimilator units get to redeclare their Protean purpose or singular purpose ability. So it's not a singular purpose, it's like a double purpose. So once per battle, each in your command phase, you can redeclare what generally is going to be objective they're targeting. So once you've secured one flank, you can redirect your Norns to like the center and hold that one. Yeah. And you can redirect off the center to your opponent. 15 OC and a 5 at Feel No Pain on a toughness, I want to say 12 model. It's been a hot second.
T11, I think.
T11. But like a bunch of wounds and a Feel No Pain and an invuln on at least the Emissary. Check back on that one in a second. Synaptoprescience. Norn Assimilator gets a 4-up invuln. Okay. Well, that is quite durable.
Solid.
Now they're actually like comparable with each other from what I understand. Right? They actually kind of do similar roles, so it's about picking exactly which one you want. Do you want slightly more attacks or slightly more shooting or whatnot, right? But the 4-up invuln means that the Norn Assimilator is actually like playable. And then Destabilizing Predation is an upgrade for Norn Emissary. This unit's ranged attacks have anti-character 2+. It's ranged attacks, they have 2 shots, if I recall correctly. So probably not. Catalytic Biofortification. 1 CP, any phase when a friendly Norn Assimilator unit suffers a mortal wound, they get a 4-up Feel No Pain against mortal wounds, which I believe the Emissary gets a Feel No Pain. It gets 4-up against mortals.
One of them does, yeah.
Yeah, so that would be the Emissary. And then the Assimilator can spend a CP for that. Not your favorite, but hey. And then Lesser Prey, 1 CP, fight phase when a friendly Assimilator or Emissary is selected to fight, they get +2 strength, which I believe brings you up to like strength 11 or 12, which is a pretty big break point. I believe it brings you up to 12 when you're in Synapse range. Not a Tyranid main, but I'm doing my best. And then Tangle Strike rounds, 1 CP. In your shooting phase, when a friendly Norn Assimilator unit has shot, select one enemy unit hit by those attacks. That enemy unit is tethered and has -2 move. So something to note here is that 3 of these strats are for the Assimilator, and one of them is for the Emissary. One of the, and then half of the enhancements, but the good enhancements for the Assimilator. So very clearly they look at the Assimilator and the Emissary and be like, I haven't seen the Assimilator on the table ever, and I would like to. So looks like they just tried to bring them more in line with each other with a strat and an enhancement to bring the things that made the Emissary just better than the Assimilator over to the Emissary, or over to the Assimilator. Mm-hmm. Seems interesting.
Yeah, Norns are 15 OC is real problematic, and if less people are bringing long-range anti-tank, Norns are very hard to kill.
Yes. Is this Take and Hold? Please tell me.
What is it called?
It is Talons of the Norn Queen.
It is Take and Hold. Yes. Take and
Oh
hold.
boy.
Take it and hold it.
I mean, that's what you want to do with this. You do in fact want to take and you want to hold, man. And so if you have 6 of these things, probably not, but like 4 of them, right? It's really, really hard to get objectives away from these guys, and they'll score a ton of points. Seems quite good. All right, lastly, we have Warrior Bioform Onslaught. They resubmitted their paper for a C grade, and so we'll see how that goes. So friendly Tyranid warriors with ranged weapons and melee weapons have the Tyranid warriors keyword and battle line. And then warriors, primes, and winged primes have a 5-up invuln, which they very much need because they have a 4-up armor save. Elevated might is on a winged, or on either of the primes. They get to reroll wound rolls and have +1 AP. I'll be honest, both of these really like that. The winged prime, I believe, is 6 attacks at 612, maybe 712 with Synapse. Again, I'm just doing my best here. But that really, really likes +1 AP and rerolling wounds. Mm-hmm. And then the Tyranid Prime with Lash Whip hits like a truck. He has the whip, which is like 8 attacks. And then he has either 4 or like 6 attacks in combat off of his Rending Claws and Scything Talons. So either of them really, really likes this, makes them hit quite a bit harder. Ocular Adaptation, Winged Prime or Prime with Lash Whip, your unit's melee attacks get +1 to hit. So you will probably be taking this. Mm-hmm. In melee, those guys hit crazily hard. Because they have like 6 attacks at 6-1 twin linked, I believe, each, which is quite nasty. Alien Physiology, 1 CP, your opponent's shooting phase or the fight phase when an enemy unit targets a friendly Tyranid Warriors unit, -1 to wound if the strength is greater than the toughness. Very, very good strat at keeping units alive, and then you have an invuln, so you can pretend at being tough, which is enough to make sure 1 unit dies and then the next one doesn't, as opposed to like 3 units die. Synaptic Micronodes, 1 CP, end of your movement phase, 1 friendly Tyranid Warriors unit, you secure an objective it's on. And then Parasitic Payload, 1 CP, when a friendly Tyranid Warriors unit is selected to shoot, your unit's ranged attacks have ignores cover. That is cute, but I think you're probably taking the melee bioform. But
almost certainly, yeah.
Yeah. This with Vanguard Onslaught, you can take 3 or 6 man Tyranid Warriors. You attach a prime with wings to give them the Vanguard Invader keyword, and they're the warrior keyword, so you get to combine all of this together into one like big smorgasbord. So they advance to charge, and they're like kind of tough. I could see that. They're pretty cheap right now. I think they're like 75 or something.
They kept going down.
They kept going down. Yeah, they're low, and so if you can make them kind of tough and fast, that's pretty interesting. So I'm excited. I mean, like Vanguard Onslaught's always kind of called to me, right? Genestealers advancing and charging, warriors advancing and charging. It all seems pretty neat.
Yeah, they've got a wide variety of tricks in that one. Mm-hmm. So interesting. I think Tyranids overall going to be pretty happy with these 1 DPs.
I would agree. These seem quite solid.
A little bit of something for everybody. You want the stat check, you got it. You want to ally a little bit of stat check into your normal Tyranids, you got that. You want to do more skirmishing, awesome.
You want to punch your opponent with warriors, got that. Apparently warriors are 65 for 3 and 130 for 6. Yeah, according to chat.
Wow.
Oh, for ranged. Oh,
for ranged.
Yeah, I think they're like 75 and 150 for the melee. Yeah. That's really cheap, right? 25 points a model. You get a 5-up invuln. You can be -1 tough or -1 to wound.
If you just think about it, a 70 to 80 point unit in a lot of armies is like a skirmish scoring piece. That's a little bit better than a complete trash unit. This is a real unit that can kill things.
Yeah, and I believe the prime is not much more than that. I think it's like 65 for the Lash Whip, and I think it's like same, maybe less for the winged. And that is a cheap unit that moves fast and hits hard. Mm-hmm. I quite like it. It moves fast in Vanguard Onslaught with the 1 model leading, but hey, you can cheese it.
All right, moving on. Next up, we are going to have the Genestealer Cults. So we did their Tyranid friends first, and now we're going to do the Worshippers. Yep. So we've got our 3 1DP detachments, and then in terms of everything else, we have 1 3DP. That is going to be the Host of Ascension, which was the previous most powerful playstyle. It's got the 6-inch deep strike. It's got the just overall. They changed the strat where if you shoot their unit, it doesn't go back into reserve anymore, right?
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah,
so
they changed a lot of the strats with it, but it was the most powerful way to play the army.
Yeah, even still. They turned it into just put a unit in reserves. So they changed a completely different strat.
Yeah, end of your opponent's turn, right?
Mm-hmm. And then they made a bunch of their strats like 2 CP, and then they nuked the Primus.
This is the mobility one that really rewards you having like big bricks of stuff coming in, and then it also wants you to effectively do a lot of shooting damage. So we'll see how that does. But everything else, you've got your Outlander Claw, which was quite popular for a bit, Xenocree Congregation, which has gotten better over time, Final Day, where you can ally in Tyranid units, as well as Biosanctic Brood Surge, the primary combat detachment. Those are all going to be 2 DP. So now let's see what they can access by heading over into the 1 DP section here.
Yep, absolutely.
So first of all, we have Heroes of the Uprising. This one is going to have the detachment role Killer Reputation, which is quite funny. Friendly Kellermorph, Locust, Reductus Saboteur, and Sanctus models have killer keywords.
They just didn't want
They're
to
just
type that out
killers,
again.
baby.
Yeah, they're killers, man.
Friendly killer models attacks can reroll hits of 1 and wounds of 1.
Whew.
That's pretty efficient. Not gonna lie.
Yes.
None of those units do mega damage, but they will be very consistent and they're super cheap units.
I mean, part of that's that they have no rerolls. So if they do on everything, you're going to start seeing more Kellermorphs, more Sanctuses, more Reductus Saboteurs, that sort of thing.
Enhancements, the gene-tailored toxins. This goes on a Locust or a Sanctus, and the model's attacks have +1 damage. Whew. The melee Sanctus has not seen play in quite a while. I don't remember, they have a sniper version, which is mostly seen, but a combat version, +1 damage, not bad.
Yep. That guy is like anti-infantry, like 3+. You can make him dev wounds. Rerolling 1 to hit and wound. Damage 3.
Then we have the Contraband Munitions, Kellermorph or Reductus Saboteur model only. The ranged attacks have +2 strength, which is also some pretty important breakpoints. Living up to the legend, 1 CP, your shooting phase or fight phase when a friendly killer unit has attacked. If those attacks destroyed an enemy unit or an enemy character model, that killer unit, each visible friendly battle-shocked Genestealer Cult unit within 12 is no longer battle-shocked. So this would be, imagine, more late game when you have a bunch of wounded GSC units that might be battle-shocked. Well, hopefully they're battle-shocked in this case, and then you unbattle-shock them is a cool strat, but may not come up as much as you want.
No.
However, Surging Brood Worship probably will. 1 CP, your shooting phase or the fight phase when a friendly killer unit is selected to attack. Attacks made by killer models in your unit have dev wounds. And as Jack mentioned, the combat guy who's going to be +1 damage is anti-infantry 3+.
Yep, and rerolls 1 to hit and wound.
It's pretty good.
So have fun with that.
That's going to be an auto take.
Yeah.
Loyal to the End, 1 CP, fight phase when an enemy unit targets a friendly killer unit. When a killer model in your unit is destroyed, if your unit has not selected to fight, this phase, roll a d6. On a 1, you take a mortal wound. On a 2-up, you get to fight on death. Oh, so remove that model from... No, excuse me. Remove that model from the battlefield. When your unit has fought or at the end, it is removed from the battlefield, whichever comes first.
Yep, so you don't pull the model. It then fights at its normal timing, and then is pulled.
And then it's pulled, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, a 2-up, you can still roll the 1, but a 2-up is way more reliable than the 4-up fight on death.
Yes. Also, I'm not going to feel comfortable as an opponent charging like Sanguinary Guard into that Sanctus to kill him.
Yeah, because he's going to be hiding behind a little wall,
Yep. Now, he can't do this and have dev wounds, but that will not make my 5 damage 3 saves feel any better.
So this seems like a pretty good detachment because those are all, besides the Locust, you see most of those characters. I guess the Sanctus has more purpose now.
Yeah, and the Locust is cheap as chips, man. And with reroll 1s to hit and wound actually is...
What was his main thing? He fight first?
He gives units fight first, so...
It's a little less strong now.
Not amazing. I'm not going to say he's the best of the bunch. But like Sanctus is in melee, Kellermorphs in shooting, Reductus Saboteurs in shooting, all quite solid. And you give them all reroll hits and wounds of 1. And the Locust isn't like terrible. It's just his thing doesn't work anymore. So
they're also buffed by the fact that Assassinate changed where 3 wound models only count for 3 points instead of 5. Is that correct?
Sounds
I
right.
believe Assassinate...
And that might just be for fixed.
Maybe that's only for fixed.
Might be just for fixed.
It hasn't come up in any of my games yet. But.
Yeah.
All right. Pure Strain Brood Swarm is unique to Pure Strain. At the end of your opponent's fight phase, for their detachment roll enemy within, friendly unengaged Pure Strain Genestealer units can be placed into reserve. So very good scoring manipulation. And enhancements. Mark of the Star Children. It's an upgrade for Pure Strain Genestealers. The unit gets +1 toughness, +4 a 4-up invuln, and then the
That's a 4-up save.
Oh, a 4-up save.
Yeah,
and then the unit's melee attacks have +1 strength. So pretty solid buffs all around for your Pure Strains. And then Talons of the Sire, your Patriarch model, the unit's attacks can reroll wound rolls of 1. Also solid, probably a relatively cheap enhancement, I imagine. Lurk and Strike is 1 CP. Your movement phase when a friendly Pure Strain Genestealer unit is selected to make a fallback move. That Pure Strain Genestealer's unit, the move doesn't prevent your unit from being eligible to declare a charge. Very useful to have. Crawling Horror. Start of your movement phase, you pick a Pure Strain unit. That unit has -6 detection range until the end of the turn. Start of your opponent's movement.
-6 is pretty boss, man. That means they shoot you at 9. You are 9-inch lone op.
It's pretty good.
That's, yes.
Pretty good.
Yes.
Pretty good. Inhuman Reactions is 1 CP. Your opponent's movement phase, when an enemy unit ends a move within 8 of an unengaged Pure Strain unit, you get to make a reactive of 3 + D3.
Well, you know that's really good is when you're -6 detection range.
When you're -6 detection range, yeah. So this is a very good scoring package for your cheap.
It's also not bad at killing things, right? Pure Strains with +1 strength. Talons of the Sire, the rerolling wound rolls of 1. That unit has dev wounds, my friend, if it has a Patriarch in it, and a lot of attacks, and they hit on 2s. So it's going to be a lot of wound rerolls of 1 and a bunch of devs, and then a Patriarch who's already twin linked, but whatever.
Then we have the last one here is Xenocult Masses. It's unique to hosts, so I assume Hosts of Ascension cannot take this. In your command phase, if a friendly Neophyte Hybrids unit is within a terrain area, that unit heals 3 wounds, and healing means that would be 3 bodies come back, since they're 1 wound. This detachment, and it has the host thing, enhancements. Inspired to Greatness. The Magus and the Primus model, the unit's attacks can reroll damage rolls. Interesting.
Yeah, I guess that's for their mining lasers and grenade launchers?
Yeah, I assume so.
I guess.
Because everything else, like all the combat stuff is normal damage, right?
I think
Flat
so,
damage,
yes.
yeah. Devious Disguises is an upgrade that goes on Neophyte Hybrids. This unit has -3 detection range. So interesting. Eyes of the Cult, 1 CP. Start of your shooting phase, 1 friendly Neophyte Hybrid unit within a terrain area. Enemy units within that terrain area have +6 detection range, which is very easy to shoot at. Fanatical Hail is 1 CP. Your shooting phase when a friendly Neophyte Hybrid unit is selected to shoot. Select 1 enemy unit. Your unit's range attacks that target that enemy unit can reroll hits. So this is where hybrids start to get a bit stronger when they can reroll hits.
Yes.
And then Slunk from the Underbelly is 1 CP. Your opponent's shooting phase when an enemy unit targets a Neophyte Hybrid unit with every model within a terrain area. Range attacks that target unit have -1 AP until the attack is ended. So it's an armor contempt for Neophyte Hybrids, which they're probably still going to die in droves, but once again could come up in certain scenarios.
And I mean, Tucker's excited for this because it just makes his units that much more annoying, and they will heal back.
Yep.
So like,
and they heal back better in this detachment.
And you won't use it in the position where you'll still lose a 20-man. You'll use it where your opponent has like 5 warp spiders shooting you, which previously would scoop the unit completely. And with this, it'll probably leave it like alive at some amount, right? We'll still leave it with like 5 guys who then heal, take the objective, and do their thing.
One of the things here is that several of these revolve around having the unit within terrain or all the models within terrain, which is a bit different from some of the other stuff. So you will have to position properly to get the benefit of some of this stuff.
Yes.
But overall, yeah, quite an interesting set of rules. I really like the Heroes one, obviously. Heroes of the Uprising. But I think the Pure Strain one, if you are somebody who really likes Pure Strains, you'll go that direction. Or if you just want to emphasize the scoring further. That way, you can always have your Pure Strains. Maybe they're a little bit more late game piece, but going up and down. So that way, you can actually use your Hand Flamers that come back more aggressively turns 3 and 4.
Yep.
So yeah, very interesting for GSC. I think these are pretty good 1DPs.
Yeah, quite good 1DPs. All 3 of them, I would say.
And now we head on to the armies that I play, all in a row. So it's going to be Necrons, Leagues of Votann, and Tau.
Oh boy.
Okay, so Necrons here. They have 3 1DPs, which we'll get to in a second. And then in terms of what they have, their existing detachments, the 3DP versions are going to be Awakened Dynasty with Taken Hold. Canoptic Court is 3DP with Taken Hold as well. And then they are going to have, it looks like a Star Shatter Arsenal with priority assets. Star Shatter was my personal favorite way to play the game, and I think +1 to hit against things on objectives. Still really good rule to have in this edition, even better.
Even better, because objectives are bigger and you're more required to touch them. Like, your opponent's vehicles are going to have to touch the terrain, which is the objectives, to shoot through, and then you go bang, and you get your rules against them.
And then -1 Damage King is obviously a beast, but the 2DPs that are interesting, Obeisance Phalanx gets more interesting. I think Pantheon of Woe is still not going to be ideal, but Hypercrypt at 2 DP, that used to be a very prominent playstyle for Necrons. Maybe it'll come back. Cursed Legion has some very good rules for Destroyer units. And then I think the other ones, Annihilation Legion, is still really bad. But let's see what we can ally with these 1 DPers.
Yep.
And that is going to start off with the Hand of the Dynasty. This one buffs Necron Warriors and Immortal units. So what they gain from Hyper Motility Protocols is the Assault keyword for your ranged attacks. And then when a friendly Immortals Necron Warrior unit is selected to make an advanced move, it doesn't prevent that unit from being eligible to start an action, which is also quite useful because guess what? Warriors and Immortals, pretty slow units. They kind of need to advance to touch terrain in the first place. You happen to draw Cleanse or something like that, now you can also potentially do it.
Yep.
You can't take it with a Dynasty tag, which I'm going to guess is Awakened Dynasty.
Sounds right.
Enhancements. Enlivened Sentinels is an upgrade for Necron Warriors. Gain Scout 5. Also, a very good rule for making sure that you can touch the midfield ruin or terrain features, terrain areas, turn 1. Tools of Dominion is also an upgrade, but only for Immortals. The unit's range attacks have Rapid Fire 1, so this would really help out, say, like your Gauss weapons, which you want to pump up a little bit more. Then Dominance Protocols is 1 CP. In your command phase, 1 friendly Immortals unit, you can get +1 OC, so they're comparable to Necron Warriors now and better able to hold an objective from contests. Will of the Conqueror is 1 CP. End of your movement phase, 1 friendly Immortals Necron Warriors unit. You select an objective your unit's controlling. That objective is secured. You could only get this rule from having Trazyn leading a unit previously. Trazyn is garbage. This is a very useful rule to have access to. And then Nanosaturation is 1 CP. Your opponent's shooting phase, when an enemy unit that targeted a friendly Immortals or Warriors unit, your unit shoots using snap shooting, but in doing so, your unit can only target that enemy unit. Which is not the end of the world on like a 20-man Necron Warrior unit if most of the models can see because they're lethal hits, so they'll just automatically wound. And AP1 is a lot better than it used to be due to cover, but still, you're probably not going to be shooting all your models, and there'll be issues with spending that. Then we have Sky Shroud Spearhead. This one is reconnaissance, so something that Necron players might be interested. They want to go a more go wide type of scenario. Trans-dimensional deployment. Friendly Tombblade units have Deep Strike. When a friendly Tombblades unit is selected to shoot, if that unit made an ingress move this turn, the unit's range attacks have a +1 to hit. Kind of whatever on this. The sauce is going to be the rest of it.
Deep Strike's not bad for like little action doers.
It's okay. Necrons have plenty of Deep Strike action units, and they have Scout, so they're actually our best unit for trying to get control or center ground, the new area denial.
Because you scout forward and then
tempting target. They're also pretty good at getting that in the early game. Enhancements. Recursive Reanimation is an upgrade. Tombblade units, when this unit activates its reanimation protocols, +1 to hit. I don't know who at Games Workshop has had their Tombblade shot and not killed so that they could actually use its reanimation protocols. So, useless. You
get 1 extra win back, Richard.
When they die.
No. When they don't die. Like
they are going to die.
They all come back slowly. 1 extra win at a time.
Deepening Madness. Destroyer Cult mounted unit only. This unit's range attacks have Assault. That's very good. So heavy destroyers or your Locust, your regular Locusts, like that a lot. Omni-Locked Strafing, 1 CP. Your movement phase, when a friendly Necron's mounted unit is selected to make a fallback move, that move does not prevent your unit from being eligible to shoot. The destroyer units are giant bricks with these huge models, and being able to fall back and shoot, very important with them. Swift as Death. Your opponent's movement phase, when an enemy unit ends within 8 of an unengaged Necron's mounted unit, you get a normal move of 3 plus D3, so this is a reactive, can be used on Tombblades or on your destroyer, your mounted destroyers. Also very good. Like that strat a lot. Evasive Protocols. 1 CP. Your opponent's shooting phase, when an enemy unit targets a Necron mounted unit. Range attacks that target that unit with a strength greater than toughness. -1 to wound. Once again, 6 Locust Destroyers with a Lord inside, or the 3 Heavy Destroyers with the Lord inside. These are good rules to support that playstyle. So combining this with something like Cursed Legion, that's a pretty strong combo. Collection of rules that you can get. Now, this detachment is very command point reliant in terms of the stratagems are kind of the best part, in addition to that 1 upgrade. So, you don't want to have to spend too many stratagems, but you might bring in Imatech to make sure your CP economy is a little bit better.
Yes.
And then finally, we have the Farron's Armory, unique to Hypercrypt. So you can't use this with the Hypercrypt Legions to teleport your Titanic units around.
Thank God for that.
Empowered engines, friendly Titanic fly units have plus 6-inch move. So that makes most of them move 14 inches.
Definitely the craziest detachment we've seen so far.
And then we have a pre-locational optimizer enhancement. Necrons model only. When this unit is selected to shoot, if the unit was set up using a Monolith's Eternity Gate ability this turn, that's teleporting an infantry unit, lethal hits or sustained hits. So pretty solid damage boost there. Mortality Shroud Aura upgrade goes on an obelisk only. Yes, the obelisk needs the most help.
Yeah.
In your opponent's Battle Shock step, if an enemy unit within 8 of this unit is below starting strength, it takes a Battle Shock
That'll
test.
do it. That'll make the obelisk playable, dude.
If this was a
Trust.
longer range or an aura instead of selecting an enemy unit, or if an enemy unit within 8 is starting, so it is an aura.
It's an 8-inch aura.
Yeah, but at 8 inches, the obelisk is pretty big, but still, it does the least amount of damage.
Yeah. Also, the enhancement. This is a detachment entirely around buffing your Titanic fly models. I know what the enhancement's going to be about. It's not those. It's going to be about units that come out of them.
And my opponent happens to be below starting strength, which, is possible to do. 1 CP, Subsurface Quantum Weave. Your opponent's shooting phase or the fight phase when an enemy unit targets a friendly Necron's Titanic Fly, you get Armor of Contempt, -1 AP for that activation, which they're 2-up safe, so that's pretty good.
That's quite scary.
That's quite good. Particle Pulse, 1 CP, start of your shooting phase, 1 friendly Necron's Titanic Fly unit. Select 1 visible enemy unit within 12 of your unit. They get, that enemy unit has +3 detection range. So it's a way to help your rest of your army shoot a bit better. And then Cosmic Storm is 1 CP, your shooting phase. When a friendly Obelisk or Tesseract Volt is selected to shoot, your unit's Tesla Sphere weapons get +1 AP, which is way more impactful now that cover is not +1 save. So those 2 strats are great, the first 2. The rest of it, the +6-inch move is great. The other stuff is meh.
Yep. I will say +4-inch move and then being entirely through walls is also quite good.
+6-inch.
Well,
because from Take to the Skies.
You go take to the skies, right? Take to the skies when they move 8 goes to 6.
Now,
not very good. When they go 14 goes to 12, you're hopping those
one
walls.
issue is that they are so thick that I'm not actually sure with that movement with Take to the Skies they can fully end past the ruins.
So
you have to go corner from corner.
Tesseract vaults will still have to. They gain a lot out of free pivoting, though. We'll say that.
That is true. That is true. It's going to be a wild time. But how I think about this is you're probably, if you're running like one of them, you're like, I want the king plus this shooting package, and I want one of a monolith or a Tesseract Volt. You'll throw it in. You'll take this as the 1 DP, and you'll be able to Armor Contempt it when you need to.
Or you take 3 monoliths and 3 obelisks. I've seen someone play that. You'll never guess who it was. It was Walter.
Could do it.
He was. He did very well at Cherokee, I think it was.
You could do it. I mean, the beef, that's a lot of beef.
That's a lot of beef.
A lot of beef.
A lot of beef.
All right, and so that is going to be Necrons. Then we're going to head on back in and move on to Leagues of Votann here. And great news for you, Leagues of Votann players, that Hearthband has survived as the 3 DP option here. So there's going to be a 1 DP like baby Hearthband type of detachment, and then Hearthband is 3 DP with priority assets. So good news there. Everything else is 2 DP. So this is going to open up a lot of competition in Leagues of Votann because Hearthband was the #1 playstyle by win rate. And now things like Needguard or Brandfast or the Mercenary Oath Band, possibly even Delve and Persecution Prospect, all that, and even Hearthfire Arsenal if you're really crazy. All of that can combo with what I think are some pretty solid 1 DP detachments. So I think Votann's list design is going to blow wide open in terms of detachment options compared to previously. So that's very exciting. So let's go ahead and dive in here into our Leagues of Votann pack.
All right, what do we got?
First up, we have the Sagittar detachment, Armored Trailblazers. So Sagittar Spearhead, friendly Sagittars get Scout 6. Scout is something that...
I'll be honest, I thought Sagittars already had Scout.
They did in the Index. They lost it in the Codex.
Got it.
So they Scout 6. That's quite a solid rule. Staging is really good. And Sagittars are tiny vehicles. If you stage big vehicles, it's hard to hide. Tiny vehicles, no problem. And then you have Saturation Rounds upgrade. Your Sagittars get Ignores Cover. Quite solid. As well as optimized attack lines, you get Mobile keyword. So you can go through those ruins. Coordinated Crossfire is 1 CP. Start of your shooting phase. You pick up to 2 friendly Sagittar units, which get reroll 1s to hit 1s to wound. Ooh, once again. a very solid stratagem.
You pick 2 units? That's pretty
2
neat.
Sagittars, yeah.
Yeah.
Outflanking armor is end your opponent's movement phase from the second battle round onwards. Up to 2 friendly Sagittar units in strat reserve can make an ingress move at the same time.
This is hilarious.
It's a lot of Sagittars because it's telling you to scout them. And unlike the article, which said that you could scout into reserve, Games Workshop, come on now, let's proofread a little bit. You can't do that. You are probably starting them on the table to get the scout move and get your forward position and your Arcanists and whatnot that are in there a little bit more forward, Berserks. So this might not end up coming up, but that's fine. You don't need to spam strats.
You know what it does do, though? It does mean you can rapid ingress 3 Sagittars, because this rapid ingress is 2, and then you rapid ingress 1.
Yep.
And each of them has a unit inside it. So turn 2, you could, if you wanted to, rapid ingress 6 units.
And if your opponent is somebody who doesn't have screening access, that might be a strategy you go for in that matchup.
Yeah.
Built to last is 1 CP. This is if strength is greater than toughness on a Sagittar, you can get -1 to wound, which is not bad. Although, once again, you're spending a lot of CP on Sagittars and not your other stuff. Then Far Seekers. So this one's Recon, and I think Votann quite like Recon a lot. Eye of the Hunt, Hernkin units. That's going to be your Capricus carriers and defenders, as well as your Jaegers and your Pioneer units. Their ranged attacks that target enemy units within 12 get +1 to hit. This stacks with the army rule, so it eventually caps at +1. I wish the army rule was +1 ballistic skill, because then you get that +1 to hit, but, is what it is. So it's good, but not as good as it could be. And then Panspectral Lock-Ons is an upgrade. Pioneer unit only. In your shooting phase, you can select 1 visible enemy unit within 12. That enemy unit is spotted, and while a unit spotted, your army, this unit has +3 detection range. So easier to shoot those things. Not a bad thing. If it's cheap, you'll probably throw it on your Pioneers.
Votann are kind of slow, so anything to make the range you need to shoot your opponent longer.
Useful. Shroudwork Talisman is an upgrade for Jaegers only. The unit has -3 detection range. And remember, this is a D6 reactive unit, so you can really manipulate abilities to try and kill them. Although most likely you're probably going back into a Capricus carrier instead of worrying about being detection or not. Scornful Analysis is 1 CP, start of your shooting phase, 1 friendly Hernkin unit, select a visible enemy unit within 12 of your unit. Friendly Leagues of Votann units that target that enemy unit have ignores cover. This is a banger strat. 1 CP strip cover, as long as you have a Hernkin unit that is close enough to the enemy unit. Super good. Really, really good. Votann don't want -1 ballistic skill at all, especially if you're not on an objective. No shot wasted, 1 CP. Your shooting phase, when a friendly Hernkin unit is selected to shoot, your unit's range attacks have lethal hits. Meh. Economy of Motion, 1 CP. Your opponent's movement phase, when an enemy unit ends a move within 8 of an unengaged Pioneers unit, you get the 3+D3 reactive move. Really good on Pioneers. Toe in, shoot something to death, or strip cover, help you strip cover, and then when your opponent moves up, you reactive them away.
Yep. You just pre-measure to make sure that every part of the objective that you're on is within 8 inches of you. They have to touch it, you're back.
You're back, and then you go back. Cool. And then we have the Hearthguard Covenant, which you can't take with Hearthguard detachments, which Hearthband's 3 anyway, so don't worry about that. And this one is friendly call Einhir Champion, Einhir Hearthguard, or Uthar the Destined. Units ranged attacks get reroll 1s to hit, reroll wounds to wound, for units within 9. So this is significantly worse than the detachment rule for Hearthband, no surprise there. It doesn't work in combat anymore, which is a little bit sad, but you still get a little bit of a damage boost. And then we have the High Call strat, or enhancement, which is 4 fight on death. Iron Skein is a call, gets +2 wounds. Then the stratagems are going to be Breckenauts, which is 1 CP. Your opponent's shooting phase or fight phase, when an enemy unit targets a Hearthguard unit, they get a 4-up invuln. This used to be useless because of old cover, but now a 4-up invuln against AP3 or higher weapons is actually useful on your Hearthguard.
Yep. It's also in the fight phase, and speaking as someone who plays Sanguinary Guard, AP3 carves through Hearthguard. And so if you have a 4-up invuln, it makes it a lot less effective there.
Fury of the Hearth, 1 CP. Your opponent or your shooting phase, when a friendly Hearthguard unit is selected to shoot, you get the +1 strength on your weapons, which brings plasma from strength 7 to 8. Important breakpoint. And then if you spend a yield point, you get sustain 1. You're always spending the yield point. Very good damage boost. The materialization matrices is going to be the 6-inch deep strike for your Hearthguard units. So 6-inch deep strike, much more viable now that coherency reduces the ability to screen the opponent's backfield for most of the game. Now you're going to be able to bust open their backfield and then get your Pioneers back there. So useful strat to have.
Yep, this feels like it has all of the required stratagems and abilities from Hearthband.
Doesn't have the fallback and do things.
Does not have the fallback and do things.
Which is relatively important, I would say. However, it's still a good stratagem suite. Yeah. I think, for me, my playstyle, I really like the Farseekers one, but I think Hearthguard Covenant, allied with Needguard, where you can get the Hearthguard unit with the Oathband Speculator enhancement, which is you get access to reroll ones to wound, or reroll ones to hit. I forget. You get rerolls, and then you get the +1 to wound, which is the most important part. So now you can be +1 to wound, rerolling ones to hit from the Hearthguard datasheet rule, and then reroll ones to wound, potentially 6-inch deep striking that. There's some nasty stuff. You can also get sustained 2 from an enhancement instead of going for the +1 strength, sustained 1 here. Okay. So I think there's going to be some cool bits there. But Farseekers, you take a lot of skirmish Hernkin units, and it's a very good suite of rules here. Yeah, I'm very happy with Votann. I think these are quite solid 1 DPs.
Yeah, seems quite good.
Probably the Armored Trailblazers is going to be most utilized with this with those Sagittars with Delve Assault Shift.
Interesting. Oh, because you can then load them up with
the Berserks and get them up the table.
That's interesting, yeah.
All right, and then we have, finally, at the end, last but not least, we have the Tau Empire here. So for their 3DP, it is going to be Monka, to the surprise basically nobody.
Yeah, Monka was the best.
Monka is the best, and it and Retaliation Cadre are going to come in at Purge the Foe, but with Retaliation Cadre and Kalyan as 2DP, so they can take a 1DP alongside, they might actually compete with Monka potentially. Yeah. So I'm excited to see and dive into these rules here. Let's see what the 1DPs offer. Okay, here we go. Advanced Acquisition Cadre. So this is going to be reconnaissance and kind of your mission play. In your shooting phase, when a friendly Pathfinder team stealth suit battlesuit unit is selected to shoot, the ranged attacks don't prevent you from remaining hidden. That's very good because Pathfinders shoot quite solidly and they want to remain hidden. Stealth enhancements, the negation emitters upgrade. Stealth suit battlesuits get -3 detection. So you can stick them out, touch terrain, get invisibility of the enemy unit you want to target, and then be a bit harder to interact with. It also lets you stage them a little more aggressively so you can take better advantage of the free rapid ingress thanks to the homing beacon. Then Unmasking Suite is an upgrade. Ghost Keel battlesuit, Pathfinder, or Stealth suit battlesuits. When the unit is selected to shoot, you can select an enemy unit within 24, and you get +9 detection range. So once again, that is pretty darn good. You're basically you're shooting.
Yep, you get that on like Ghost Keels. You're just shooting from 24 on those boards. That is like the longest the sight lines get.
And you're either a 12-inch lone up thanks to Ghost Keel, or you are shooting and remaining hidden as a Pathfinder or Stealth suit.
Yeah.
The Stealth suits, they're really not going to be shooting much. But the Pathfinder teams and the Ghost Keel, yes.
Yes.
Marker Beacon. 1 CP, end of your movement phase when a friendly Pathfinder or Stealth suit unit select one objective you're controlling, and it's secured. And Tau have Sticky from the Crew Carnivores unit, but otherwise, if you don't run Crew, which don't help you with guiding and stuff, this is actually quite useful to have. Micro Drone Support is 1 CP. Your shooting phase when a friendly Pathfinder team or Stealth suit unit starts an action. That action does not prevent your unit from being eligible to shoot. So now you can shoot, action, and remain hidden with Pathfinders.
Yeah. Listen, if I had a micro drone, I'd need support for it too.
Micro drone? You just have a lot of micro drones, okay?
That's how it works.
Auto-reactive camouflage, 1 CP. Your opponent's shooting phase when an enemy unit targets a Pathfinder or Stealth suit unit. If that friendly unit is hidden, you get +1 save. And as Jack has found out, Pathfinders with +1 save, and also the 3-wound Shazui, thanks to the 2 shield drones he takes, it's pretty tanky. Also, it's more tanky than you think.
Stealth suits with a 2-up save.
Yeah.
So annoying. Because if you leave one of them alive, guess what? Reroll 1 hit wound guide incoming.
As long as I pass my battle shock, which hopefully will happen.
This detachment is incredible.
It's
I'm gonna be honest. This is incredible because all Tau want to do is to force their opponent to come out first. And
love it.
This, you have 3 units of Pathfinders shooting you. You have 2 units of Stealth suits that are shooting away like little trash that's in the center. They will contribute to that. You have Ghost Keels shooting you at 24 if you try to stand in your terrain features. and you just shoot them. And this is not going to like table you or anything. And you can step up and shoot to these units at any point you would like, but you have to do it from within 15. And there's 3 Riptides and 2 Crisis Suit teams ready to hammer you the moment you do that.
All right. So yeah, I think this is a great one. And it brings a disposition that Tau really like, reconnaissance. Then we have Auxiliary Cadre. So this used to be a 3DP detachment. It's transitioned into a 1DP here. You can't take it with auxiliaries, so you can't take it with the Kroot Hunting Pack, which, as we'll read these rules, you really wanted to take it with Kroot Hunting Pack. So, detachment rules. Integrated command structure. Friendly Kroot or Vespid Stingwing units have the following ability. Harnessed Alien Instincts. In your shooting phase, this unit can select one visible enemy unit within 12 inches. That enemy unit is prey marked. Friendly Ghost Keel Battlesuit / stealth... When a unit is prey marked, that unit has +3 detection range. So, a little bit easier to shoot those things. You have to send Kroot and Vespid forward, but okay. Friendly Ghost Kill Battlesuit and Stealth Suit units have the following ability. Localized Stealth Projectors Aura. When a friendly Kroot or Vespid unit within 6 of this unit has shot, those attacks don't prevent them from being hidden. I'll tell you what, the difference between Pathfinder shooting and remaining hidden and Kroot and Vespid shooting and remaining hidden is a vastly different thing. Because...
I mean, I guess Kroot technically have guns.
They technically do, and -1 ballistic skill where they can't benefit from guiding is not good.
Vespid like 12-inch range?
No, they're 18, but they're BS4, so they go BS5.
I guess. Yeah, this is just not the same as the previous detachment at all. No.
Enhancements. Student of Kalyan, Kroot Shaper model only in the Declare Battle Formation step. You can select up to 3 friendly Kroot Carnivore or Farstalker units to gain Deep Strike. Effectively means you can more easily rapid ingress them into dangerous spots, which is okay. That's solid. Admired Leader, Tau model only, that's not Kroot. In your command phase, you select one Kroot or Vespid unit within 12, and if you do, they get +1 leadership and OC until the start of your next command phase. This is what the detachment was about, is you would give +1 OC to Kroot or Vespid units and contest objectives with them. And you can still do that here. So that's a good enhancement. And then the stratagems. Experimental modifications is 1 CP. Your shooting phase or the fight phase, when a friendly Kroot or Vespid unit is selected to attack, the unit gains +1 AP. I don't know if anybody who has wrote these rules has ever shot Kroot or Vespid. Even with +1 AP and -1 ballistic skill, they're not doing anything. Why would I ever spend this CP?
Yeah, this seems pretty buns so far.
Alien Expertise, 1 CP. Your movement phase, when a friendly Kroot or Vespid Stingwings unit is selected to make an advance move.
Oh my god, you can get Kroot into combat,
They
dude?
can charge. Now, Jack, if you were thinking about a Kroot unit that you would want to advance and charge, what would it be?
Rampagers.
And what detachment do you take Rampagers with?
I don't know.
Kroot Hunting Pack.
Okay.
You can't combo this. That's the stratagem that they want. They want advanced and charge. What are we doing? Okay. Guided by Unity, 1 CP. Your shooting phase, when a friendly Tau Empire unit excluding Kroot or Vespid is selected to shoot, that Tau unit can get lethal hits. If your unit targets a unit within 9 of friendly Kroot or Vespid, you can get lethals. So you can be Baby Monka for 1 unit if you have an auxiliary unit close already. This is bad. They did not take the best stratagem from the old auxiliary cadre, which was at the end of the opponent's fight phase, or at the end of the fight phase, if a unit was engage range, it could make a fallback. Otherwise, if it was eligible to fight, but wasn't engaged, it would make a full normal move. That strat was banger, and that was the reason that there was some good play with this. I get it, they don't want too many stacking rules, but auxiliary cadre literally would only be taken with the Kroot Hunting Pack. Just let it happen. It's fine.
Yes.
So, garbage. Experimental cadre.
I mean, this is 2 strats that are very good on Rampagers. Advance and charge and +1 AP. As we said, you want detachment rules and enhancements that buff your stuff, and then like a good stratagem. You don't want it to all be stratagems because CP, very valuable
CP
right
tight.
now.
And
So speaking of which, almost no stratagems.
this is experimental prototype cadre, which was another detachment that was previously a full detachment, and now it's just 1. And it's unique to retaliation. Superior craftsmanship. Friendly battlesuit character units' ranged attacks have +6-inch range. Just solid. It's not quite as good as it used to be, but it really helps the fusion one, the Sunforge, as well as some of the other shorter range weapons like flamers. And then you can't take it with a retaliation. We're going to guess that's retaliation cadre. Now, unfortunately, retaliation cadre is the one detachment that you actually see consistent battlesuit characters, besides the Twin Lance.
Yes.
So this is mostly going to read as you get the Twin Lance to benefit, sweet. You have to kind of take another crisis unit plus character to really get
at minimum. Yeah, it's a bit sad you can't combine with Ret Cadre, given that those rules are like
that's what they want.
really, really wanting. They're like Romeo and Juliet, dude. It's a forbidden love. They are not allowed to be together.
Torn asunder, yeah. So enhancements are all weapon upgrades. So you have the thermoneutronic projector that buffs a flamer, the plasma accelerator rifle that buffs a plasma rifle, and then a supernova launcher that buffs the previously useless indirect fire. And
buffs is one way of putting gets massively, massively better.
It gets way better because it's a lot of plus damage, AP, and strength.
Now, that being said, it's one weapon, so it's not the end of the world.
And based on the detachment that we had, these are not like cheap in hand. It's not like 5 or 10 points. These have been expensive. So you make your character quite a bit more expensive, but he does shoot quite well. Now, the one stratagem is experimental ammunition. It's 1 CP. Your shooting phase when a friendly battlesuit character unit is selected to shoot. That your unit's ranged attacks have +1 strength, which is a very important breakpoints. Missiles going from strength 7 to strength 8, or plasma from strength 8 to strength 9, as well as burst cannons 5 to 6. You got flamers 4 to 5. Some interesting ones. And then also fusion benefit a lot from it. And then, or you can get +1 strength and AP with hazardous.
Yeah, that's now, okay. So a unit with a character is 10 weapons.
Not counting the gun drones. The gun drones count as weapons.
Oh, so they also have to roll. So
which
it's what,
I assume you can
more?
just not shoot
you
them?
Yeah, you just won't choose to use those.
Yeah, your ranged attacks have.
So, but they will have to get hazardous, so you'll have to choose to not use them. You won't get to choose to be like, I won't give these guys hazardous.
Yeah.
Okay, so 10 weapons you're firing. Every 1 or 2, so you roll a die for all 10 of them. Every 1 or 2 is 3 mortals.
And just imagine the Twin Lance's weapons.
That makes me very happy, actually, to imagine the Twin Lance rolling like 9 dice and just exploding because they rolled 4 1s and 2s and take 12 mortals.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to sum this up for the top players. You're taking advanced acquisition cadre. Just let's keep it simple.
Yes.
Which is fine because it's a very good detachment, and reconnaissance is something Tau really want access to.
Yes.
Or you're taking Monka, and then you don't care.
Okay, so I will say the +6 inch range on Tau battlesuits has me really wishing
character
that this were
battlesuits.
Yeah, I mean, but whatever. Like when the last time I played Ret Cadre, which obviously you can't put these together, but when I played it, I've had like 6 units that all had battlesuit characters. The plus range is a massive breakpoint. The problem is the rest of this is just not very good. And if you're doing that, you're taking retaliation cadre, so it doesn't
no bueno.
matter.
So that's you kind of seen the limitation of the unique aspects where the one detachment you would really want to combo with, you can't do it. So maybe somebody will come up with combos. I'll try and experiment, but really right now, advanced acquisition cadre is just I'm jamming it in. If I'm
that thing slams.
I'm
going to be honest. If you there's a bunch of people talking about how it's terrible. That's just not how like 40K is played. 40K, if you can shoot me with 30 Pathfinders and one thing gives all of that, like one Piranha runs up and guides so it all hits on 4s or whatever.
Well, Pathfinders guide themselves.
Yeah, but also the Ghost Keels.
Yep.
I don't care. I'm losing like 3-4 squads of Marines in the center of the board, and then I have to step forward to do something about it, and I get shot.
Then the Riptides come up.
That seems bad, man. That seems really bad. I'm not into that.
So, overall, this is going to be the Xenos Faction Pack. So hopefully you enjoyed this breakdown. Now, like I mentioned, we have videos in our war room right now, which are going through each of these and talking about how the core rules interact, how the detachment combos work, all that sort of stuff. So you can check it out on the warroom.vhx.tv for the 3-day free trial, or you can join the YouTube channel here by clicking that join button on our channel page. And the gold tier will get you access to all the faction content. We have videos for all the Marine chapters from yesterday, including Grey Knights. And tomorrow will be Chaos. And then the day after is going to be Imperium. Jack and I will be back on Thursday for Imperium. So you'll see us then. Tomorrow, I believe, is Michael and Nick for Chaos Day. So we're just going to be pumping out these live streams every morning around 11:15 or so. And then we are going to have all that War Room content available if you want it. Now, we have a bunch of Super Chats here, so we're going to go ahead and do those Super Chats. If you do have questions for us, please do Super Chat, and we'd happily answer them. In addition, if you do just enjoy our content, enjoy hanging out with us, talking 40K nonstop, which we're going to be doing over the coming days, then please do give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and smash that subscribe button. That really does help us grow the channel. And leave a comment below letting us know which of your Xenos factions you're most excited to be playing with, which detachments, which rules. We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. Let's dive into these super chats. All right, so here we go. Wow, big long list. We have a bunch of people.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to the War Room. Gold, bronze, silver. We have Denny87, Miguel Hernandez, DNP Tan, Jason Connaughton, Justin Kinney, Dutch Ninja,
Heck yeah.
Andrea Contrino, Big Muffy, James King, Derek Griffey. And then we have a bunch more, but we have a super chat here from Mona Corone, 171, $20 super chat. Says, hands over some yield. Alls I want is for you all to spend more time on Votann than Aeldari. We're cooler anyway, rock and stone.
Rock and stone, baby.
If you were cooler, why do you have 3 detachments and Eldar has 4? One could argue they didn't need 2 Harlequin detachments. But we got them, so there.
But it was that or a cage match at Games Workshop, and so they decided they just publish them both instead of the cage match.
That's right. They had to decide whose is better. So, all right. Next up, we got Elijah Wahlberg. Welcome in. Nemo Dice Kose, Glyptic, Bear Akuma twice, Comrade Chin, Cat's Allergy, Anton Marcelo, Camilo Valencia Montoya, Warlord's Den, MC 9405, S. John Creations, Pierre Ferrugia, and Claymore 94. Welcome all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Welcome to our community.
All right. We have Bolter 445 says, wah, slaps like button for first.
Heck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Thank you so much, and enjoy your DACA.
Next up, we have Tom Kirby, $10 super chat, says, Locust Guy from Faction Focus here. Since 11 a.m., I have received 3 different messages asking me who I know at GW. Is this what Armored Spear Tip felt like? I don't...
Is Armored Spear Tip a Space Marine detachment?
Okay. Locust Guy from Faction Focus here. Since 11 a.m., I received 3 different messages asking me who I know at GW. Is this what Armored Spear Tip felt like? I don't know. I'm trying to parse this one. I'm sorry.
You did debate Jack. Whatever. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Huh. All right. Bolter 445 says tank bustas once per game plus special shells equals AP4 rockets and an AP6 shock attack gun.
That's nasty.
Yes.
That is nasty.
Quite sketchy.
I am going to be shot by DACA. That is for sure. Michael is very excited for, I think it's, what is it? Dread Mob plus more DACA.
Yeah, I know he likes. I know he likes shooting with his infantry. Hives Bane says, Roland Def is the only Orks priority assets. Yeah.
Perfectly fine. Yeah.
You got to commit to an extreme. We got Friendly Neighborhood something. It's on. Thank you. Friendly Neighborhood Canuck says, if you had to take Spirit Conclave as your primary detachment, what 1 DP would you personally run with it? Okay, there's 2 options here depending on how you want to build your list. If you want a bunch of tough stuff to force your opponent to come forward and you want to pick off their tanks, you're going to take Armored Warhosts, you're going to take some amount of Fire Prisms, and that goes pretty well together. If you just want to have more stuff to do actions, you're going to take Path of the Outcast, you're going to take probably about 4 Outcast units, like probably 2 Rangers, 2 Shroud Runners, and add that in as like a scoring package. Seems pretty solid. Fatal Recursion says, Jack leading the charge on making everybody hate Eldar even more. Adam going to rage on the podcast while Eldar's supposed to be dead for sins in 10th. I don't think that's a particularly good way of looking at things, man. Like, ideally, everyone's army is good, right? Yep. Ideally, everyone's army is good. If someone's army is too good, what you don't do is make their army bad for an equal amount of time. You just make it as good as everyone else.
Yep. And they've done a decent job of balancing the game like that.
Yeah. Tomcat says, Orks have the burn a bomber that removes cover. Sure. I think you have to drop a bomb for that. I don't actually know how that works with the new flyer rules. And I guarantee you, I'm never going to find out because nobody's going to run that thing. Saurus Blood says, Ox Cadre got butchered, lost all the fun strats. Now it is just a drop Vespids next to something to get lethals for 1 CP. I miss interlocking maneuvers.
That was the best strat. That was the fallback one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I miss it too, but luckily we have a new alternative.
Yep. Friendly Neighborhood Canuck again says, are flyers immune to battle shock now? Auto leave the board and come in after normal battle shock check. I know in 10th edition, if you left the board and then came back in after the battle shock check, you had to take a battle shock when you arrived. I actually don't know how it works in 11th.
I think you just take the battle shock now.
When you're off the board?
At the same step.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But I'm not sure. It's either that or when you come in.
Yeah, I don't think you get around it, though. Zinth says, Succubi have precision and full rerolls versus characters. Their stonks are way up into character units, plus giving their squad sustained one detachment point, witch plus Star Shatter Arsenal. Now, I'm assuming that's some other SSA acronym.
Spectacles. No,
you can't combine those.
Sky Splinter Assault.
Sky Splinter, yes. Looks fun AF. Yeah, I think there's a lot of options in Drukhari right now.
Yeah, I think they're one of the big beneficiaries because it seemed like they had a couple interesting I really like the Cabal one and the Coven one, which isn't my style as much.
Yeah. I'm kind of feeling the same way with like Blood Angels. There's Inheritors. There's like I can combine 3/1 DP detachments. I can try Angelic Host. I'm like overwhelmed with all of it, honestly. So you're in a good spot if you have a lot of different options to work with.
It feels more like 8th, 9th edition where everybody, people who run the same army will have vastly different archetypes.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. S Blanco TX says Dread Mob plus more DACA for 2 tank buster units with sustained lethal, ignores cover, and rapid fire 1. Orc shooting seems fine. Why is the web dooming? The web is dooming about every single faction at all times. And especially on edition launch, it is so crazy how many factions I have looked at and they're like, my army's dead. The army's dead. They killed it.
Or Melee's dead.
Melee's dead. Ranged
dead.
attacks are dead. This force disposition is gone. This unit is dead. Like, people are overreacting like crazy. I mean, that's human nature.
Yeah.
Obviously.
It's internet behavior.
Dude, it is nuts how many people's armies are DOA right now, dude. It's crazy. All right. Caleb Bam Rene. I definitely didn't get that right. Welcome in. Nurgle Matt sent 5 Art of War gifted memberships. Thank you so much, Nurgle Matt. Archimedes, Green Tide plus more DACA sounds sick. The more DACA seems like it works in well with a bunch of different lists.
Oh, yeah.
Christopher M says, for the greater good, ? Ox Cadre and EPC shot and left for dead.
Experimental prototype cadre.
Yeah. Advanced acquisition cadre only viable if hidden actually matters. Hard to be excited about GW slashing my tires every update. Again, people are overreacting.
It's also a very good detachment.
A lot.
I promise.
A lot.
There's actually a game in the War Room that I played last week against Jack's Custodies where I played it.
Yeah, felt quite good. Douglas Sandylands. Will Biosanctic also have the Pure Strain tag? I have no idea, man.
Yeah, it is unclear what that's supposed to be. Maybe it's a future-proofing it.
Maybe it's a future-proofing it. Maybe Biosanctic will get Pure Strain. Who knows? We'll find out when we find out. Friendly Neighborhood Canuck again says first Necron game must have the monolith. Too bad. It doesn't.
It doesn't. But it is going to be a great game.
Yes. S Blanco TX, $5 super chat says, Jack, with mobile for Squig Hogs previewed, how do we feel about Big Hunt plus Wagon detachment? We memein or gleemin? Hogwa.
Where's Squig Hog mobile?
I don't know. I'm assuming that they get it somehow. Maybe they changed Big Hunt to give them mobile. If they did, then that's pretty neat. I mean, I like Squig Hogs. They're the kind of unit that's not impossible to kill, but it's annoying enough to kill that the second unit your opponent's going to go after generally is going to live. And so that's a very good durability threshold to hit when you're trying to overwhelm your opponent. So yeah, no, I think it's pretty cool. I want to see more Hog Riders on the board. Archimedes, we got Red, or R Bull, could be any kind of R. R Bull 416 says, welcome to War Room Bronze. And then again, they upgraded it to Silver, so thank you.
Thank you.
Archimedes, $5 super chat. Can you scroll up, please? Yep, thank you. All right. Archimedes, $5 super chat says, for the greater good, not adding to detection range or marker lights, reducing it was a huge miss. Maybe the codex will have some magic gems given we ... only ... shoot.
Well, like I said, check out that game I played in the Worm because Tao's strong.
Tau are still quite good. They still
Tau are
have
still
like,
good.
At the end of the day, you're going to have to get some amount of your army close to your opponent, and it's going to get hit, and that is okay because you have a lot of units, and some of them are very tough.
And we have a lot of AP. Our AP really benefits a lot from the cover change.
Yes. All right. Archimedes also says experimental prototype cadre should have been a 2 DP that functions as it does in 10th. Totally ruined my mass breacher on foot, piranha, and Vespid strategy.
If you like mass breachers, Monka is still excellent for that. There's so many stratagems that support the breacher playstyle, and your Vespid benefit a lot because you can give them +1 OC from Strategic Conquer.
Yep. Luke Boyer asks, do you think any 1+1+1 detachment point lists could be good? Yes, but they are a lot more complex to write, and so I don't know any at the moment. I'm currently trying to dive Blood Angels between Incarmian Spear Tip, Legacy of Grace, and Librarius Conclave, but I'm in the opening stages of trying to figure that out. I still have no idea what direction I'm going with that.
Tomorrow's YouTube battle report, which is going to be going up, Leagues of Votann versus Emperor's Children. John and I are playing all of our 1DP detachments combined, so you're going to get to see that in action.
We have General Odium asks, can a character with an enhancement join a unit with an upgrade, or is that not an option? I believe you can just do that.
I believe it says non-character unit in the
No, so
upgrade section.
they're asking, can an enhancement on a character, can that character join a unit with an upgrade? And the answer is yes.
Yeah, so it really comes down to the timing because the upgrading a unit.
Oh, is it actually
non-character.
unclear?
It says non-character.
So
unit.
when do they join?
When do they join is the question. So probably in the rules FAQ that'll be clarified. But yeah, right now it's unclear.
My guesses would be yes, you can. But if it's unclear, I actually didn't know that. I thought you just could. All right, PSF says, which of the NID 2+1 options would be worth running versus one of the 3 DP options? I am quite interested in Warrior Onslaught or the Lictor one plus Vanguard Onslaught. I have a pretty high opinion of Vanguard Onslaught because it does exactly how I like to play 40k.
Yeah.
And then the Warrior Bioform one, just giving you 3 melee units, and then you take the Winged Primes to give them the Vanguard Onslaught keyword, seems quite solid.
Yeah, that Flying Hive turn in that detachment's really good too with that -1 attack.
Yes, that guy's pretty good. Swarm Lord, because he is Vect and gives you an extra CP, and the extra CP is massive right now.
Huge.
Huge. Basically, don't discard cards you can score because everyone scores a million points.
You'll be sad
now.
later.
And so if you discard a bunch of cards that you could score, you're going to lose because of it. And so you can't discard them, which means extra source of CP. Very good. Very, very good. All right, Tau Tactics says, for the greater good supposedly changing. I think, given what people said in the, I haven't read the article, but given what people said in the chat, it sounds like they said that for the greater good was changing in the article, and then it didn't.
Yeah, they say at the very bottom of the article, and keep an eye or check out the changes for the greater good, which is the army rule for Tau. I read it. I didn't see any changes. So if there is anyone, it's super subtle, but I don't believe there are any published changes in that update.
Yeah, my assumption is that the person who wrote the article, the intern, the person who wrote the article doesn't really know Tau. So they cracked the Tau Codex, cracked the thing and was like, oh, wow, this has changed.
Well, yeah, it's a giant wall of text at the start. They did this update to For the Greater Good last summer.
Yes.
So they probably just looked at it and were like, oh, this must be a huge change for the new edition.
Yep,
And it's
because
like,
there's a lot of changes in the edition. I guess they probably assumed that this was one of them.
Yep.
Anthony Fior says, notably, experimental prototype Cadre does not have the Fusion Blades enhancement or the Repair Drone stratagem. Very upsetting. Literally no point to running that detachment. I mean,
Fusion Blades. I do miss
cool.
Fusion Blades.
Yeah, they were the coolest part of it, for sure. Flyfist, $20 super chat, says, do you see Serpent's Brood detachment gain the acrobatic keyword? Personally, yes.
Serpent's Brood?
Serpent's Brood,
Yeah,
I think is...
I would be shocked if it did.
I would be shocked if it didn't. Yes, in the faction pack, Serpent's Brood is in there, but my guess is they're just going to add all the tags to all the armies all at the same time, and they're not going to do one of the detachments earlier because it's in the faction pack. So,
yeah.
No. My guess is yes, it will gain. If it doesn't, sick, but my guess it will. Mithril Blade says, Hypercrypt plus Hand for double Monolith plus Mass Infantry, or is another detachment combo better?
So I think I want to experiment with Cursed Legion and the Sky Shroud one that buff destroyer mounted units. I want to really try that out, give it another chance, because I really like that rule suite. But another one that I quite like is Obeisance Phalanx plus Sky Shroud as well.
Fatal Recursion says, Eldar player, by the way, wasn't saying that they should be dead. My bad. Will we see any Harlequins play in the competitive reports? Yes, Nick likes Harlequins quite a bit.
Yeah,
I've played Harlequins in the past, but Nick's on them right now.
Yeah, there's been several games in the War Room with him playing Harlequins. Mm-hmm. And he took him to the Streamhouse RTT as well.
He did.
Yep.
He did. Nexos Floof says, a moment of silence for my son, Swarmhost. Anyways, shout out Xenos Cults giving all my neophytes hit rerolls and taking its place. Yeah, all three of the GSC detachments seem very good.
Yeah. I think they're going to be pretty happy with that.
From the perspective of 1 DP detachments, general average is like pretty mediocre. So if you do anything at all, you're a good 1 DP detachment.
If you have multiple good rules, it's like, wow, sweet.
Yep. Chris the Ninja, he threw a 1 in there, so it tripped me up. RIP Tactical Brigade and my Orc orders. Yes, Tactical Brigade is no longer a combined arms sort of deal, and it's just, you like doing actions? Do a lot of actions. Do them. Do those actions. Get those good bits. So it's a completely different play style, which if you like the previous one, that does suck. Yeah. Wes WTF, I believe it's our last super chat, says oh, sorry, I skipped one. Friendly Neighborhood Canuck says, what are you personally looking forward to talking about in the Chaos and Imperium reveals? World Eaters, yeah, and Custodes. World Eaters and Custodes. Those are my two big ones.
Admech,
yeah.
So yeah, you'll definitely see Jack and I on Thursday again.
Wes WTF says Oxcod plus Kauyon, marksman with admired leader, Kroot jail till turn 3. I don't know what that means, but you probably do.
Yeah, admired leader is the one where you buff the OC and then you just jam out 3 OC Kroot.
You just Yep.
Which definitely that has play, I think.
Yeah, no, it seems quite good.
That enhancement was very good. It was one of the stronger parts of Oxcodra, so I'm glad that at least stayed.
Lieutenant Gothmog, currently our last super chat, says, any info on strats like the one in CK or Orbital Assault Force that grant the benefit of cover and stealth? The faction pack didn't change it. If the faction pack didn't change it, then you got cover twice, unfortunately.
And welcome to Skitarii Hunter cohort.
Yep, that's how it goes.
Yeah, maybe that's something down the line that they will end up fix, I hope. But for now, I think some of the stuff is just going to stack in a way where, whatever.
Yeah, I think they did that for the Phobos detachment in Vanguard. There's so many names. I just can't keep them all
Vanguard
straight.
Spearhead, I think.
Vanguard Spearhead. Yeah. I believe they changed it from cover and stealth to just stealth. And it's like, okay, cool. It's like, sure, I guess. Friendly Neighborhood Connect said, sorry, apparently had a stroke typing that. And listen, I eventually figured out what you were saying, so I got you covered. All right, that is it for Super Chats for today. Thank you all for joining us. If you want even more videos about your faction, make sure to check out the link in the description down below at worm.vhx.tv, but that's a link in the description. You can just go ahead and click. We have a free 3-day trial. You can go ahead and check that out. You can join our international community who are popping right now. Popping. Because now that we have dispositions and detachments, that's it.
You can play Warhammer.
Just play Warhammer. So,
which is what we've been doing.
So go ahead and check that out. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Richard.
Absolutely. We will see you all tomorrow. Nick and Michael will.
Yeah, we won't.
11:15 a.m. when we'll go through all of the different Chaos faction packs. And then on Thursday, same time, Jack and I will be back for all of the Imperium faction packs. Heck yeah, dream team.
Let's do it.
So thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one. We'll see you all in the comments. So long for now.
Bye.